Right, live. Always catches up with me. You know, it seems to stall, and there's a little symbol that goes round and round and round. You got to wait a minute, right? It says any second now you're going live. Always catches me out. Okay, we've got a few people watching. We've had a couple. I've noticed we've got a couple of comments in, which came on my screen before I went live, like while I was preparing. Hello, we're getting quite a few people tuning in. That's very quick. Let's see, we've got Chemotherapy Wig. Hello to you. Sheckless. Mystic Genie. Hello to you. Hello to you, all of you. We've got there's one I don't recognize. TUTB. Hello to you. We got a little green monster thing icon there. Andy Smith, Big Lad, all kicking off now. Howdy, Mark. That's from Big Lad. And John D. Hello. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, we've got. I'll tell you what, the numbers are flying up. It's not. It's not often we get numbers like this very so soon. A minute and a half in. I'll tell you what. Matthew Green. What's all this then? Yeah, it's been I don't know, a couple of weeks, I guess, since I went last. No, I mean, the thing is, I've been so busy with the allotment. Somebody commented actually that they're missing the cookery videos, which yeah, I mean, it's been I've done a live stream and then 3 allotment videos. So I'm going to get so I'll get back to doing some cookery ones. Oh, what's this kind of message popping up there? Get rid of that. Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it's such hard work. And sometimes I can be there for like 7-8 hours. I've been there on occasion. You know, get there at midday or so, and then still there. You know, I only leave because it's starting to get dark. You know, that kind of thing. If you haven't seen them, type in. I'm just reading a couple of. If you type in Mark or go seven videos, I've done. I've done a few videos on the progress of the chicken run. I did a demonstration of this lever bar to separate the pallet wood. That's been popular, that one. The big Hulk hands for scooping up the grass. You know, all kinds of. You know, if I get to use a product for the allotment, I figure I may as well make a video of a demonstration of it. You know, give people in case people are thinking about buying one. So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, and I haven't been the last 2-3. Not since I showed you the above ground raised bed / hugelkultur. Those 2 that I built out of pallets. If anybody's interested, I could show me making one. You know, it'll be easy if I can get somebody to work the camera. Then I could just plow on and they can just tune in every now and again, make a 15-20 minute video of it. But it's quite simple. You get the wooden planks, separate them up. You find one plank and make that the size of the square that you want, and then get all the other planks, use that as a template, and then mark them. You know, you use that. So if you use that one plank, every other plank afterwards will be exactly the same size. You know, and then I'll tell you, it really does. It helps having because I've got 2 screw guns. It's my birthday in a few weeks. Let's see. Actually, yeah, about 6 weeks, perhaps. Just looking at the date there. About 6 weeks. So, but I got a present early, and somebody bought me 2 drills. One's they're both fairly identical in look, but the actual nozzles on the end are different. One of them's got the hole, for the drill bits to go in there to make the pilot holes, and the other one is for the screwdriver attachment. So I tell you what, it's handy having both because they're clear. If you've got to put the drill bit in, drill the hole, take the drill bit out, put the screwdriver bit in, put the screw bit. It takes all day, you know. Anyway, but yeah, I'll tell you, I can whisk straight through that. I made 2 already. They're the ones that you saw on the video. And I was trying to work it out. I figure I've got to make it about possibly 12 more to surround the perimeter of my plot. It's going to take another 12 of them. I mean, there'll be gaps in between. I don't want them all joined together as such. Although they could be, you know, in pairs, I guess, but they would be like two squares put together. Could do that, you know, but I'm looking at 12 more, you know, oh, I'll tell you. And you get approximately 7 planks in a pallet. Sometimes, and then you turn it over, you might get 3 or 4 more. So you're looking at approximately 4 pallets per raised bed. Dismantle 4 pallets to make 1 raised bed, and that's if you salvage all the wood from it. If any of the wood breaks, which happens, some of the wood is already fucked by the time you get it, then they're no good. Sometimes you can get a long plank, which is busted at one end or got a big crack going through it. Sometimes you can cut that off and make a smaller plank. Sometimes you can salvage, you know, try and salvage the wood whenever possible. And but you're looking at about 4 pallets or so per raised bed. And then that's just the square ones that you saw. If I make a longer one, that's going to be a bit more involved. All right, let's do a few. Mystic Genie, I'm more likely to recognize you in public than most current celebs. Indeed. Well, if anybody does out there recognize me in the street, you know, by all means, you know, say hello. If you want to, I don't know, if you want to photograph or any shit like this, then that's fine. I've mentioned before that sometimes I may not look the most agreeable, but that's just, you know, because I'm sort of like, you know, I'm just doing stuff and I've been working hard and, you know, wherever it is I'm working at, or I'm going to work, you know. And but yeah, you know, I'm always, you know, I've chatted with people at bus stops and that, you know, and they occasionally they'll recognize me. Oh, Mark Mullet's in the house. Okay, Mad Maz 49. What happened in Farmfoods? Right. Okay. Yeah. Actually, that's a good. I'll get to that. Well, chat, hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Oh, George C says hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Thank you. George C's one of the 2 moderators. You know. Oh, because you've been with the channel a long time. But what I'll do, I'll remind you and Peter B, and along with all the other people who are watching who's thinking about commentating, if right, I've got George C, Peter B, to keep law and order. The thing is, I don't. I pretty much welcome all comments. You know, whether they agree with me or not, they're fine. But if people start, what they've done in the past is they'll start doing the same comment over and over and over and over. You know, the same comment 15 times. You know, if you see those, get rid of those. Put them on. I don't know what if you can put them on a timeout or whatever. You know, but on my computer from my side, I can ban them, give them a 300-second timeout. What's that? 5 minutes? 60, 120, 240, 300. Yeah, it's about 5 minutes. I can give it a timeout. I can, you know, do all kinds of things. But on your end, if you can, yeah, if they start doing that, just start deleting the comments. If they start repeating the same thing 15 times, or if they get like really unnecessarily abusive to an extent, that's fine. I mean, I'm a fan of free speech, but like I've mentioned to people before, you have the free speech to write whatever you like, but I don't. You know, but you know, I can't be forced to put up with it. You know, the same on the other end. I should be able to say what I like, and you've got the option to listen to it or bugger off. You know, so a little bit, but if it's unnecessary, you know, then you know, with discretion, get rid of those if they're just totally I don't know what the word is, uncooperative, or you know, just being maliciously nasty or whatever. Mark Mullet, my gun. Mark Mullet started growing food in his garden at the start of the year, mainly to distract from the madness, which is that's partly why I got the allotment. Although it was like almost a year I was on the waiting list. It's because people have got more than one bloody plot. That's what it is. People got two plots. Sometimes a little bit, But yeah, I tell you, it's really good. It's somewhere to get away. Because everyone needs a hobby. And with me, the one hobby that took, because I've taken up loads of hobbies. I learned to snowboard. I went skiing years ago. I did that. That was fine. I went to Austria. Here in Milton Keynes, we've got an indoor ski slope. So I went skiing on that. And I learned to snowboard. I did that as a hobby for a while. I've gone metal detecting. I went bowling for a while. Nothing really picked up. No hobbies really took, except for the what they call the husbandry, which is bird keeping. I was really, that's the one thing that I really enjoyed doing. So which is why I'm going into it again now that I've got an allotment. Okay, so we got English hearts in the house. Okay, so somebody asked what. I tell you what, I'm going to. I'll tell you about what the story about today. I think it was 20 to 3. That's when it happened. I know that because I've got the till receipt from when I was in. And I got this from Farmfoods. I tell you what though, 3 liters White's lemonade. They're doing these £1.50 each, which I tell you what is a bargain on its own. But if you buy 2, you get 2 for £2 down at Farmfoods. I tell you what, I used to go into my local chippy all the time and say, for Christ's sake, because the thing is, if you want, they got 2.25 litre of Coca-Cola for like 3 for a £5, or 3 litre bottles of Pepsi. I think they're 3 for a £5, so it's slightly better off getting the Pepsi. The 3 litre bottles, 3 of them for £5. Yeah, £5. And I used to go into my local, chip shop. In the past, I've gone into them and said, look, get yourself down to Farmfoods. They're doing deals, but this is before they did the 2 for £2. This is like 3 for a £5 on the 3 litres. You'd be the only shop around. The co-op on the corner, they don't do 3 litre bottles. They just do the 2 litres and some smaller ones. None of the kebab shops and chippies that have been in this area have ever done the 3 litre, even though I bloody well tell them all the time. You'd be the only ones. You buy them at in this case they're £1 each if you buy 2. Even 3 for a £5. What's that? That's £1.70, £1.65. About £1.65 each. £3. That's £1 a litre. That's you double your money almost. But none of them will go for it, silly fuckers. So so if anybody's in the area of a Farmfoods, do yourself a favour if you like soft drinks, or if you have a shop, get these. I tell you what though, when you go, I get it. I personally don't get my soft drinks from the chippy because they're more expensive than the shop directly next door. So, but yeah, I buy from there. I buy the one, but well, you've seen it before, £1. There you go. There's one bin here. I get the £1 bar shandy. That's my favourite. Or I'll get the co-op Coca-Cola or lemonade. But anyway, at that price. Anyway, I'm waffling on. Mark Mullet, what am I drinking? I'm drinking the vodka, co-op brand vodka, which I'm not a big fan of their label. They used to have a nicer label than this. And the White's lemonade, because we've got 2 of them for £2. Anyway, I'm waffling on. TUTV, they're £1 each in Iceland for the 3 litres. Almost too cheap, as I drink too much. Yeah. Well, actually, the thing is, I went up to the city centre yesterday specifically, spent 360 on a bus, right? So you get up to city centre to go to Iceland, get a load of, buy a load of stuff and get it delivered. It was I wanted to go to the market for something, go to Poundland. Turns out the complex in Milton Keynes, where the Iceland is, there's a whole big, what they call the theatre district. It looks like they're demolishing it. They've got all cordoned off. The demolition team says they're in there. Anyway, again, I'm waffling. Right. Anybody want to hear the story of what happened to me in Farmfoods? Because let me tell you, it was pretty rough. It was, oh God. Body and lemon can't beat it, indeed. All right. I mean, oh, can't wait. Oh, yeah, a lot of people. Andy Smith's tried metal detecting. Yeah, people want to hear it. All right, so here we go. My nose. I'm in the farm, right? For anybody who don't know, Farmfoods is like a slightly lower budget Iceland, right? The whole place is full of freezers. They've got frozen stuff. They've got a load of dried goods and shit, on the shelves. Everything from cans to jars, pasta sauces, all kinds of stuff. But it's mainly freezers with frozen stuff. So anyway, I went in there. I went there yesterday, right? Because I've got two chest freezers. One specifically for vegetables, and the other one specifically for meat, because I don't like to mix the two together. Because the trouble is, you pull out, you got to go digging for something like a pie, and then you got to go digging even further for, a couple of bits of veg in a packet. So I thought, right, what I do, just separate the two, and then I go. I don't have to do any digging; it's just there. So I went yesterday, bought a bunch of stuff, come back, put it in the freezer, and what I did, I went back today to get my trolley full of vegetables, frozen cabbage, carrots, sweet corn, peas, Brussels sprouts. So anyway, you get the idea. So that's what I'm doing there today. So I'm loading up, and I've got my fucking big heavy basket, all right, loaded. And because I'm taking advantage of the 5 packs for £4 deals, right? On the, so I'm buying 3 packets of everything, 3 packs of Brussels, 3 packets of sweet corn, 3 packets of pea. So to make up 15 bags, right? So because it's 5 bags for £4. So if I get 15 bags, that'll be £12. Anyway, so you imagine how heavy this is, right? So I'm going towards the. I joined this. There's somebody at the till. There's this guy. He wasn't like a pensioner. He was older than me, I think, because he had a mask on. And he wasn't particularly decrepit, even though he had a walking stick, right? He was pretty limber. Anyway, so I put my basket on the floor behind him, and I leave my trolley, and I walk to go get these 2 of these off the rack. So I'm holding these things, and we go forward. The woman on the things deals with her stuff, and she goes. This guy comes along, and what he does, he puts his basket on the end of the trolley and waits for the woman to finish paying and carrying on, chatting. Here's your receipt. He waits for that, right? And I'm thinking, why didn't you just put your shit on the fucking conveyor? This is what I'm thinking to myself. Put it on the conveyor. We get the light. Don't just wait, But he decides to wait until she's gone. Then he starts putting his stuff on the conveyor belt. And I'm holding on to these 2 heavy bags. And I've just got rid of this basket that's on the floor. So that's fucking, aching my arm. So I walk up behind him as he's putting his stuff in, and I just put, that metal plate on the end of the conveyor belt, on the customer side, so you can rest your trolley on it. I put the 2 bottles on that, and then I step back, and immediately he starts, like straight from 0 to 60, right? From 0 to aggression, saying, get back, get over there, get up, get back, step back. I said, who the fuck are you talking to? He fucking is like, get back. And he thinks he's got the mask on, but you can see it in his eyes. He's pissed off as all hell, right? This guy. And but that was the main thing. It was like straight bang, get back, right? You're not supposed to be this far near me. Get over there. See that there? See that sticker on the floor? That's where you should be, right? And I'm going, who the fuck? Who you think you're talking to? And he's going, I'm talking to you, you fucking, And he said, right, he's going like, get away from me, like this. And of course, I'm reading his eyes, right? Because I can see he's agitated. And what did I say? I said, hey, well, because the thing is, by this point, I'm not a particularly tough guy, right? But the thing is, you can't allow yourself to be spoken to. You just can't, because you can't be, seen as a doormat. It's like being in prison, or from what I've seen on documentaries, or being at school. You let this happen, and it's always going to happen, right? So he's like, see that sticker on the floor? That's where you're supposed to be. And I go, listen, I'm standing here. You approached me. Okay, so why don't you get the fuck back over there? So get your, just get in line. Get back. And he's mouthing off, and then what he does, because I'm standing, must be five feet from him. Well, I'm standing. He's approached me, right? So we're standing 5 feet from each other. So and he's mouthing up, and I'm trying to, because the thing is, what I'm doing, I'm assessing. Because you have to, if you ever come up to a situation like this, you have to assess. Like I say, I'm not but if I can avoid getting into a fight, then I will. But you have to read the situation. You're trying to gauge how serious is this going. Gauge what are you going to do if it kicks off. I've done this before. I've had people argue, getting arguments on the bus or something. You think, right, you want to avoid it, but I think to myself, right, if it kicks off, I'm going to fucking start yanking it, get his ear. I'm going to fucking have his ear off, right? Or because it doesn't take much to come off. But that's your plan, all right? If he's wearing a collar, you get him by the collar. If he's not wearing a collar, you get him by the neck. Or if need be, you get him just fucking hold onto that ear, But so I'm looking at him, and he's got this walking stick. All right, and like I say, he's not a decrepit old guy. I mean, he's not like a cripple or nothing, but he's had a walking stick. And he's using the walking stick to point in areas that I should, right, say, look, you're supposed to be pointing this. And I go, ooh. And I'm thinking, right, well, the thing is, if he starts wailing with that walking stick, I've got several options here. One, it's better if I try and relieve him of that walking stick if he starts to fucking start slinging that around. Because the thing is, a walking stick is a distance weapon. If you want to keep somebody at a distance, you have a stick like that. If you're unarmed, you need to back up or go forward. You can't sort of really fight somebody who's got a stick too much unless you're able to take it from him. So what I did, because he's mouthing off, right? Because I'm thinking, right, because I'm trying to gauge whether his intent is to use this stick. So what I do, I go into my coat pocket and just casually I pull out my it's called a Kubertan. Okay, what it is, it's a stick here. I've never actually used it. I use it as a key ring, or if I hit it's handy if you're in a bag, if your stuff's in a bag and you're going to go into the bag and feeling around, oh, fucking, where's my keys? You pull this out, it's easy to find. You're supposed to be able to use it as a stabbing. It's got a thing here to scrape knuckles and whatnot. So what I do, my intention for pulling this out, and I'll tell you what I did with it. I didn't brandish it or nothing. What I do, I casually take it out of my coat, and I'm holding onto the keys because that's the part that you sling about, and I put it down to my side, along my hip, and he immediately notices this. He's going, oh yeah, what's that then? Fucking. But my intention was to let him know. I mean, my intention wasn't to start swinging it unless you really, really have to. But of course, on the other hand, if this guy starts wailing with a stick, the best option is for me to have both my hands free to take the stick from him, right? So I take this out. I just have it down by my side, on my, banging against my hip here, and he sees it, and fucking hell, what was it? Yeah, because basically all I was doing was letting him know that, yeah, you're not the only guy who has a weapon. Okay, so now that you know, and he's carrying on. So all I did was put it back in my pocket. Okay, now you've seen it. All right, it's going back in the pocket. Because you hear it all the time in America when they have gunfights. The reason why people get away with going in and shooting up a fucking restaurant, with a pistol or a rifle, is because they're the only one in the room with a fucking pistol, right? Whereas when you've got sidetracking here, when you've got restaurants, I've seen it, on documentaries in America where you have a restaurant or a McDonald's or a place of work. no firearms allowed. They're the target. Then people know that if you walk in there with a rifle wanting to kill everybody or rob everybody, you pretty much know you're the only guy with a fucking weapon, right? So and that's why they do these targets. So I figure if this guy's going to be, if he does decide to use a stick, which it looked like he was heading that way, I just had this thing in my hand, wasn't wailing it around. I would just, he saw it. I wasn't trying to hide the fact anyway. I just pulled it out of my pocket and had it down by my side. Just letting him know that he's not the only one in this situation with a weapon. So he's got an option there to sort of like, because if he figures he's the only one with a weapon, he's going to be more likely to fucking use it on me, right? So he starts mouthing off, and he's seen this, and anyway, so I slip it back in my pocket. He knows I've got it, so now the the message has been sent, and then anyway, so that was that, and he's mouthing off again and again, and then a couple of what was it? He goes, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I see you got a weapon on you, mate. And I said, look, mate, I'm not your mate, all right? I had to tell him that 2 or 3 times. You know when somebody calls you a mate, right? Yes. He said to me at the end of it, he says, right, I'll see you out in the car park, mate. All right. I said, look, I'm not your mate, right? Anyway, so before that happens, a couple of staff came over. All right, you've got the guy on the till who was serving everybody who we're in line for. You've got the girl on the next till. Then you got 2 staff members. They come out of the back, they're standing there, and they're like, what's going on? And then the old guy's jumping in saying, oh yeah, he's got a kosh, I'm like, listen, the guy's been threatening with his walking stick. He's using violent behavior and violent language. I'm standing here. He approached me, telling me that I'm standing. He approached me and then tells me that I'm standing too far, too close to him. So I said, listen, because he's trying to fucking tell the staff to lock the doors and call the police. So I turned this around and said, listen, this guy's using threatening behavior with his stick. He's using threatening language and behavior. I'd like you to lock the doors and fucking call the police right in front of this guy. No, he's sort of like, he's trying to pay up fucking, to get out. Like, anyway, so I mean, I'm being fairly calm, and the guy as he's getting his stuff together is talking about getting me in the car park. And I didn't hear him at first. I was like, what would you say? What? And I said to the staff, did he just say he was going to get me in the car? I said, listen, right. Because I said to him, look, I'm old enough to fucking deal with this. I'm not interested in this carrying on. If you, I said to him, I'm willing to forget about this. I'm old enough. I'm too old for this fucking shit. I'm old. I'm prepared to let this go if he just shuts the fuck up and leaves me alone, right? And I said, listen, if I go out in the car park and he's fucking waiting there for me, he's going to kick off. So I'm going to come back in and I expect you to phone the police, right? Because, like I say, if it comes down to it, that's if I've got no choice, then you've got no choice. But if it's the choice of coming back in the store and letting the police handle it. Anyway, so the 2 staff, they go, because, actually, luckily, the girl on the next till and the guy on my till, they come out. Yeah, and they were on my side. They said, no, yeah, he's not doing anything. He's just standing there, and this guy come, fucking mouthing off and shouting shit, and, which is handy, I don't know whether. Well, the thing is, I don't know whether they were aware that I had. I mean, like I say, this would be an extremely last option. I only pulled it out to let him know that he is, out of the 2 of us, he's not the only one with a weapon. Because, like I say, because this guy, I'm trying to read his face, even though he's got a mask on. The eyes, the window to the soul is through the eyes. They say you can read a lot through the eyes, and this guy looked like he was fucking mad, with anger, So, I mean, I was waiting for the time when he's going to start wailing with that stick, because, it really looked like he was going. So that's why I pulled that out, just to show him that, you're not the only one with a weapon. But like I say, if it did come down to the stick being wheeled around, it would have been better for me not to have that in my hand, because I would need 2 hands to separate him from the stick. Anyway, so he gets his stuff. He buggers off. The two staff members are standing in the door, looking at him. I see him through the window. So I see him getting into his car. By the time I got out, It looked like he'd gone. I went to the bus. Oh, well, I went to the bus stop. Went to the bus stop, and I have to wait about 5 minutes. It was and the thing is, I'm standing there, and a police car came from the direction of Farmfoods past the bus stop that I'm standing on. And I'm thinking, shit, I've got another 3-4 minutes to wait. So it's not like, But luckily, I think because they didn't actually look. Because the thing is, there was a bus parked, or there was a bus, not my bus, but another bus was just coming into the bus stop. So I think that they may have shielded the view of me, assuming that they were there because of the confrontation. Hold on a sec. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Oh yeah. Okay, I'll have them. I'll have them with me before 12. Okay. Yeah, I was planning on going there to the allotment tomorrow anyway. Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Great. Yeah. Anyway, I assume that the police were there. It could have been blind. I mean, how often well, if you live in Milton Keynes, you know how infrequent we just happen to see a police car drive by. But it's from the direction, from right to left, from the direction of Farmfoods in front of the bus. So I'm thinking, oh shit, that's all I need. Um, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is not, as far as I know, this is not a deadly weapon. It's just it's a key ring. It's a key fob. It's handy if it hits the floor. It makes a noise. Anyway, but yeah, that's my for what that's worth. That's my farm food story. So I'm gonna have to stay away from there for a while. But I tell you, you know what? I mean, the thing is, I was thinking today, because I was thinking, right, I've got a couple of hours to the thing. I was thinking about all the times when I seem to get, I can't even go in. I can't even get the bus without I've had arguments, and there's been times when I've actually pushed people off the bus. When I've got into arguments and shouting matches with people on the bus. I had that big couple of live streams ago. I was telling you about that big ding dong I had in the local chicken shop. Then I come out and have an argument out on the street. Well, not really an argument. The guy was getting a bit mouthy, saying about I was getting to social distancing or something. He was blocking the path. Him and his fucking trailer trash family were blocking the path. I had a little gap to get through, and then I'm the arsehole for being too close to them. Anyway, but yeah, I mean that's but the thing is, this guy, honestly, he went from straight 0 to 60. There was no. Oh, listen, excuse me. The things that I don't. Would you mind stepping back a bit? It's just that I realize blah blah blah. I might be in the high risk age group and that kind of thing. But would you mind just yeah, fine. But no, he went straight from 0 to 60. Say like, get away from me, get back. What are you doing? Get over. See that fucking mark on the floor? That's what, like this, straight there, and that was it. But like I say, I'm one of these people. As I get older, I've had this. I had I won't go into too much detail, but I had a big ding dong with somebody at the allotment in the first couple of months I was there, because I don't like being spoken to like that. I mean, who does, right? But the point is, as I'm getting older, I'm less inclined to put up with it. Because when you're younger, if somebody has an argument with you, or not arguing with, but starts mouthing off and shouting and shit, there's the tendencies of, oh yeah, okay, no, fine, you do that, and I'll just go this way, But as you get older, in certain cases, like in my case, you figure, you don't get to talk to me like that. The fuck do you think you are? So that's what led to that big ding dong. And I tell you what, it looked, because even though I only had the eyes to go by, this guy was mad. You could see it in his eyes. And then you're thinking, okay, right, because you're trying to assess, okay, do I need to fight this guy? Do I need to back up? Do I need to do this, that, and the other? And no, I really thought for a while there he was going to use that stick as a weapon. So then I'm thinking that's why I pulled this Kubertan out, just to show him, that you're not the only one that's got something in the pockets. And but even when the staff showed up, he was mad. He was sort of like mouthing off and all this up to the staff, and I was like, hey, listen, the guy's getting agitated. He's been threatening with that stick. If he gets out of hand, and I expect you to call the police and all this lot. So that was that. So I guess when he got to his car, I didn't see him, although I wasn't really looking out for him. I just got out of the shop, walked across the street to the bus stop, didn't see him again, But that's what it's like, I honestly can't go anywhere. The allotment, on the bus, in the chicken shop, security guards up the city centre, I've had a few mouthing offs with those, about the masks and stuff. Not really arguments, just fuck off. Yeah, but no. See, the thing is, I'm not really a troublemaker. It's just that I find I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm getting old. I just don't like being spoken to. Well, the thing is, if the guy said in a really, in a polite way, would you mind stepping back? I realize, it's all a big load of fucking hooey, this plague business and the, but would you mind? Because, I'm kind of in the, that would have been fine. I only actually stepped, because he was loading his stuff onto the conveyor belt. I only stepped forward to dump these 2 bottles on the end of the thing because they were starting to get heavy. And then he's, because at one point he was saying, I'm saying, you talking? He said, yeah. I said, you've been standing next to me all the way ever since you joined the line. I said, well, there's a fucking queue. What do you think? Anyway, there was 2. I think there was 2 guys behind us. They fucked off as soon as it kicked off. I don't know whether it's when the raving started or I pulled this thing out of my pocket. Next thing I know, they've gone. They've gone to the next hill. Fucking hell. But but yeah, what are you gonna do? That's the thing. I wasn't gonna swing this thing, unless I absolutely had to, because but like I say, there's several reasons. 1, I'm not that kind of a person. 2, there's cameras all over the place, and 3, it was only for show, to show him, well, look, you're not the, I've got my own weapon. And 4, you'd be best to have 2 hands to fight off a guy with a stick, So anyway, that was that. Anyway, let's see. Mark, I'll go through a few of these comments. Mark Mullet, always have the right hand clenched, ready. My dad was always taught me, or my dad always taught me. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, I wasn't ready for a fist fight as such, but I was ready because I'm looking. Okay, you when you're confronted by something like this, like I say, I'm no expert. If I can avoid a fight, then fucking I will. Well, I'm not like my brother. He just goes straight to. He's like this guy. He goes straight to fucking 0 to violence because he's a fucking sicko. But you're confronted with somebody like this, and you're looking. Okay, because he was taller than me. I'm about 5'10". He had to be. Shit, he had to be 6. Well, he was possibly that taller. I don't know, maybe actually, yeah. No, that'd make him near 7 feet. No, he would have been about 6'3". He was 6'3", perhaps. Sort of slim build, a little bit older than me. Of course, with a stick, which he was using to point at stuff, that I should be over there and all this. So I mean, figure if he's going to be swinging this around, then so there's the option for him to be swinging it. So what you're doing is you're looking for a plan. Okay, if he does swing it, you've got to try and deflect that, and you just either yank the ear off or stick your finger in his eye or some fucker, or hit him in the throat or something. You have to have a plan. I mean, like I say, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't or couldn't wing it unless you're a trained person. Okay, if it kicks off, then you think, no, you can't think of a plan. Then, for most people, I think, it's better to figure out, well, if this happens, that's what I'm going to do. Kick him in the leg, knuckle sandwich, or whatever. You have a 3-point move. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Matthew Green. You never know when you could get jumped. Yeah, keep your eyes on the swivel. It does. It pays to be aware. Which I realised afterwards. Because afterwards I'm at the bus stop and I'm thinking of the event and all this lot, and I realised that it is very difficult unless you're trained to do otherwise, I think. But for me, I had tunnel vision. All right. This thing was happening in front of me, and I'm looking at him. All right. I'm reading the eyes. I'm reading the body language. Which even the eyes don't give it away, but you're reading him, and you're not really, because you're waiting for the problem to come from straight in front. You're not thinking about anything left or right. Which is a bit of a problem. It could be. So, but yeah, there's something to think about. It's all very well, being observant up front, and where the problem is. Michael Jolly is ram it up his ass next time. Yeah, I tell you. What's this? Big lad. Never forget. #free Eggy. What is that? I see that around. People put that in the comments. Yeah, English Hearts. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, COVID, a virus so deadly you have to be tested to see if you have it. Yeah, yeah, because most virus is an illness. The fact that you have it is obvious to everybody around you. But this, it's kind of, you have to have a test. I'm not. Well, am I right? Do they still have that thing where they cram it up your nose? About 1.5 foot up your nostril, and no, I don't fancy that. Big lad says, yeah, no one ever expects a fisting of Farmfoods. I know. I tell you what, I just, thing is, I don't look for this stuff. It's just people start. I don't know what it is. Is it something about me? People see me and they think, right, well, I'll fuck with that guy for a change, George C., another case of someone not thinking of others. Keep the queue moving. Indeed. I mean, the woman, he put his stuff in the basket on the edge of the conveyor belt, waited till the woman had finished. I mean, she's packed everything. The conveyor belt is clear. She's paying for the thing. And he's waiting for her to leave before he starts emptying his stuff. And then, because as soon as his stuff was on the conveyor belt, that's when I came forward and put my 2 bottles on the metal plate at the very start of the conveyor belt. That way, his stuff can go forward. I can get these 2 fucking heavy bottles off my arms onto the conveyor belt. And that was when it was, just when I put them down, he was like, can you get back, get over there, get away from it. George C. Eggy was an account banned by Peter B. He was spamming. It was funny for a bit, then got boring. Peter B was spamming. Do you mean that he had another account called Eggy and he was using that to mess with people? Is that what you mean? Andy Smith, many feet up the nostril. Indeed, I tell you, I've seen it on the television. It doesn't look like fun. George C. I don't mind a few of these comments, just don't spam the chat too much. Indeed, yeah. I mean, let people have a little bit of leeway, but if they start writing the same old stupid shit, then or if it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over, like they've done in the past. What was that? Stuff it in your suitcase or something. They wrote. There's hundreds of those. Joanna B had her first vaccine yesterday. The thing is, I was visiting. Like I mentioned, I try and help out the homeless depot down the street there. Uh, whenever whenever I can, then I'll go in there and donate some stuff well, I went in there and they said, "Oh, by the way, the nurse is in. Do you want to?" I said, "No, fucking, yeah, all right." So I went in, had one, and she said, "Come back in 3 weeks," which is in about a week's time. Tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to go back and get the second one. I don't think I will. I don't think I've had too many adverse effects. I didn't have any effects when I got the flu jab. No adverse effects on this thing, but thinking about it, I don't think I'm not in the high risk age group anyway. Plus, I think it's a blood of fucking hokum. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the second one. Let's see. George C. Peter B. stopped the spammer. Oh, I see. Right, I'm with you. Peter B. stopped the spammer. The spammer was called Eggy. Right, right. Yeah, because people are writing all the time. Hashtag, I don't know, free Eggy or bring back Eggy or some shit. Who's this? Ryan Evans has got a message deleted. Electro. Uh, Cloudy says he likes the channel. Thank you very much. There's some kind of emoji there. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Joanna B says you may as well. You've had the first one, but that's the thing. I heard about these two Amish fellas turned queer because they had the virus. They had the injection. So I don't fancy being Amish or queer. So I don't know. I don't think I'll. But besides, I mean, I don't think there's much use. It was probably a waste of time me having the first one. I don't think I'm gonna have the second one. But there's a month, there's a week to go. But at this rate, I don't think it will. Joanna B, protecting others. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. One, mind you, yeah, I suppose because my two dipshit brothers, they got it, you know. Yeah, they lived, but they had it for a week or two. But the thing is, I wear the mask. Most shops, they tell you it's mandatory. Even in the co-op, you get the tannoy come out. It's mandatory to wear masks, but the co-op they've learned not to challenge people. You see, when the plague first hit last year, you'd see all kinds of videos on YouTube about people, especially the co-op. People go in the co-op. The staff would tell them tell them you need to be wearing a mask. All of a sudden, the staff member gets a knuckle sandwich. There's stuff being shoved off the shelves, wreckage all over the floor. So in the end, they just don't tell anybody. you know. But yeah, I mean, if I wear them, see, that's the thing. If I get the injections, does that mean I'm able to stop wearing the mask? No, I don't think that's the case. I think I still have to wear the mask. So what the fuck am I getting the injection for? An unknown injection when I have to wear the mask, whether I have the injection or not. May as well just not have the injection, just carry on wearing the mask, and we're still on square one. You see, uh, Funky Spectrum. Adverse effects might happen with second jab. Having one jab does not work, as you need the second one for the first one to build the antibodies against mates. So don't really be don't really be careful. I lost it at the end there. I don't know, but yeah, I guess you need the second one a few weeks later to give the first injection a boost. If I just have the first one, it probably just hopefully dissipate, and I won't, turn gay or nothing like them. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, if I was 20 years older, maybe. And I figure, fuck it. It doesn't matter if the injection kills me. I'm near. I'll be 70, so I'll be, close to the grave anyway. I got 1 foot in there, so it wouldn't really matter too much to me at that age. David Copperfield, thanks for sharing the story. Always entertaining. Well, my hardships are, I'm glad they're they're entertaining for people. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I kind of make it sound like it was fun, but yeah, I mean, at the time, it really looked like it was, gonna be. It really looked like it was, an inch from being a brawl. But I've had that in other supermarkets, where I've had a few words. It hasn't been that bad in the past, but like if I'm, and I fucking hate this. When there's a guy, say the person's being served at the till, they're cashing up and all the rest of it. You got a clear conveyor belt. You dump all your stuff on the conveyor belt, and you're waiting for that person to get done, paid up, and they go. So the conveyor belt goes forward. There's no point me getting up the whole armful and moving it down the conveyor belt, or stacking it down. Just stack it on the conveyor belt. And there's no point me getting that little square divider, that little stick to put behind my stuff, because one, my stuff goes all the way to the end of the conveyor belt anyway. There's just no need, but plus the guy still, if they're still banging their shit up in front of me. But what's got me is when you're standing there waiting patiently, and a guy will fucking lean over you. He'll brush up against you, lean over your stuff to get that little divider to put at the back of the conveyor belt where there's no room to put it anyway. So he has to wait until the conveyor belt moves forward a few inches just to get his stuff on there. Yeah, I've had words with people about that. All you got to do is, just wait. There's no big hurry. Yeah, you don't need that little divider, and you definitely don't need to fucking climb over me to get it. Channel 1 was in the 1st Battalion. Plenty of queers in back then, let me tell you. Electro wants to know whether my brother Carl is spelled with a C or a K. Spelled with a C. Yeah, spelled with a C. Electro says injections so you don't die, masks so you don't spread the virus. Well, that's the thing. Injections so I don't die. Well, I don't think I'm going to die from this anyway. If I do catch it, I'll be laid up for a few days. No big deal. I've gone through worse injuries than a fucking hyped up flu symptoms and whatnot. Well, I realise it's not the flu, but I've been injured in the past and I've managed to soldier through. I've told this story before. I cracked a bone in my foot. Went to work for 3 days thinking it was a sprain. I only had a few days off to go to the hospital when I couldn't take it anymore. You just get through it. It's not like one of these little fairy 18-year-old millennial types who will get a sniffle and never, go find a safe room to go lay down in. No, you fucking soldier on. If I do catch it, I'll just do my best not to pass it on to everyone. I'll just stay indoors. I've got plenty of reserves of everything, so I don't need to leave the house. You know, as for the mask, I wear the mask just out of courtesy to everybody. You know, it's mandatory. If you go on the bus without it, you're going to have the bus driver shout at you, unless you're one of these dickheads who've got this little badge on. I'm exempt because I'm a fucking dickhead. You know, if you got one of those, great. But otherwise, you know, I wear it. If I go into the shops, I wear it because it saves you getting hassled from the fucking, because they're only come up to you. Even when you've got it above you like this, and they say, "Oh, can you put it above your nose?" And like this, I'm like, fuck me, my glasses steam up. I can't see shit. You know, I'm like, well, you know, the thing is, yeah, I'll do that. You know, to make people, you know, feel safe. But well, you know. George C. People get it jumped. People get used to others pandering to them. When you tell them straight to move forward, they take it badly. Indeed, you know, it's what it is. You know, certain people. I've noticed this about somebody that I also know. You know that they'll mouth off to you, but as soon as you speak, as soon as you mouth off back, they don't like it. You know, it's because they're not used to it. They're not used to being spoken to. Which, if they're going to mouth off like that, they need to get used to it. And it's possibly like that with this guy on in Farmfoods. You know, why would you immediately, like I say, it was quick as that, 0 to 60 aggression. Who the fuck does that to a complete stranger? I could be a mental case. I could be fresh out of the fucking nut house, not taking my meds, just waiting for somebody to look at me cross-eyed, and then I choke them out and beat them to death right there with a, you know, would have beaten to death with a bag of Brussels sprouts, you know, frozen bag of Brussels. I could be anybody, but this guy decided, yeah, I'll take a chance. This guy looks like he's, you know, I'll just fuck with him and I'll just speak to him anyway. You don't do that with a stranger, you know. You just don't know what they're capable of. I mean, sometimes you can get an idea. I mean, if they look like they work on a building site, probably best not to be fucking with them. Or if they look like they, you know, lift weights for a fucking, you know. But sometimes you gauge. I mean, the thing is, I'm not particularly, you know, I mean, I'm not a fat fucker, but, you know, I don't know how much I weigh. You know, but I've got some muscle in the arms and chest and shoulders, but mainly from, you know, from back in the day. You know, it doesn't take much to rebuild this. Actually, I used to do it when I was 25, and since then I've done a few jobs where I'm pumping heavy shit. I told you about that time when I had that, you know, that big machine with a spike. You know, you dig up pavements, dig up the road, and bang. Yeah, I've had that above my head, chiseling out of fireplace. I've been digging. I've been holding on to that rotavator on in the allotment, you know, and a few days of that, and you're solid, you know. So it looks like I'm not exactly a 9 stone weakling as such. So why would this guy figure, oh fuck with that guy? Why would he do that? Uh, and then to carry on, telling me he's going to sort me out in a car park. You just don't, you don't, do your best to avoid that situation. That's what you do if you can. I mean, sometimes, I mean, like, I'm not going to mention his name, but one of my brothers, he's like that. There's something unwired. He's got a loose screw up there. No matter how much talking you do and how much explanation you do and how much reasonable fucking, talking to him and explain, if he's got his mind on violence, then that's it. There's no talking me out of it. Some people are wired wrong, and he's one of them. And I don't know what the guy's problem was in Farmfoods, though. To immediately do that to a complete stranger who you do not know, what they're capable of. The Sims Insider, tell us about the bus stop. Uh, what bus stop are you talking about? Are you talking to me or talking to somebody else? I don't know, but I don't know what bus stop you mean. That's Sims Insider. Um, oh, George says evening to Pete and Dawn. The Sims Insider, 2 regulars and others joining the chat. Ah. Actually, I've been so busy talking, I haven't seen Pete and Dawn's name come up, but welcome to them. Oh, the insider from Farmfoods. No, well, the thing is, I've already. If you come in late and missed it, you'll have to watch it on the rerun. It's about, I don't know, 15 minutes in from the start of the thing. But I had a big ding dong with some guy at Farm Foods, and it was close to coming to blows. I think he was getting ready to use that stick as a weapon. Anyway, but you can hear about that at the watch it on the rerun. Oh, Simon, thank you very much. When's the? I'm reading yours and reading one above as well. uh, Simon asked about the saving up stamps, asking about a PO box. Well, the thing is, I'm trying to catch the. You know what it is? You go into the local corner shop. I tell you what, the Indians are the worst. You go in and you say, are you the boss or the manager? And they're like, what I mean is, like, do you own the place, or are you, like, in charge? Are you the guy that makes decisions? Oh yeah, what can I do for you? And I say, well, look, the thing is, I'm wondering whether I can pay you some money in order for me to use your address for parcels and envelopes and packages and postcards to show up here. I'll come in 2 or 3 times a week. So I give you, I give your address, your shop's address as the contact address. People send their stuff. I come in, collect it, and I give you a monthly fee. The boss isn't here. Like, you just told me you were the boss. They do that to me all the time, I don't know what the fuck it is. And then every time I go in there, they're like, oh, no, the boss comes in at 4 like this. So I go in and oh, no, he's not about, he's not today. Anyway, but I'm trying, every time I go by, I try and catch him. But it's difficult, But yeah. Yeah, I don't know where else, because I mean, it'd be handy having a shop, because I don't want to, for obvious reasons, I don't want to give out my home address. Yeah, Sims Insider. Yeah, if you go to the beginning of the live chat, then it's all from about a quarter of an hour in or so. All right, but that was Simon. Yeah, I mean, if I can catch the guy and if he agrees to it, then I can do that. But the trouble is, you need an independent shop. Plus, I mean, there's always the chippy, but they don't open till they open at 12 till 2 and then 5 onwards. So, I mean, mind you, I mean, you want to get mail delivered to your house, you're looking at midday anyway. Because I remember the day when you would get the mail before you left home to go to work in the morning. Now you're lucky to get it by the time you get home. It's. I mean, I've seen it. I've got. If I've got a day off, I'll piss off to the shop or somewhere, and if it's like round about midday, I'll see the postman drive up in his van, get out with his bag, and just start walking out the street delivering mail around about midday. Unbloody believable, Yeah, Sims Insider. Nah, don't worry. Carry on watching the live stream, and then just at a later time, just go back. Oh, look at this. You see again. Funky Spectrum. Mark, why are you not answering my questions, mate? Can you confirm that you can see them? Thanks. Well, yeah. See, this is what. Yeah, I can I can read the down the right hand side of the screen. There's a list of people's comments, but as you may have noticed, I start talking about a subject. I can't read all the questions and talk about a subject at the same time, and I'll start getting onto a subject, go into it in some detail, and then by the time I get back to the questions or the comments, sometimes they've jumped. I could scroll back, but that's that means. but no, I'm not. If I don't like your comment or question, I've got the option to delete it. I don't. It's not a case of I don't like it, so I'm ignoring it. If it's that bad, I'll just get rid of it. You know. If I mean, I don't know. You know, I give lots of shout outs. I read lots of questions because I miss certain. I can't read them all. I do miss some. It's not through malice. It's just that there's so many of them, and I'm trying to talk in a coherent way. So I miss some of the questions. Okay, so all right. You've got a funky spectrum. I just did not know if I was blocked or something. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry to bother you, mate. I did not mean to bother you. I understand now. All right. No, I didn't mean to. You know, I don't know if I seemed agitated there, but no. Now the reason is it's just that I get, I do get people that take it personally when I don't answer their question. I do get through as many as I can. I do as many shout outs as I can during the live stream. I read as many questions as I can. But the trouble is when I read one and I've got to do a 5-minute talk about it, sometimes I'll miss a bunch. But anyway, but yeah, I'm glad you understand it. It's just I'm not trying, deliberately avoiding it. It's just that there's a lot. All good from your point of view. All right, thank you, Spectrum. Let's see. Toby Larone says I missed his comment as well. Get their post. Yeah, George C says his parents get the post after 4 p.m. I tell you, it is scandalous. I don't know what it is. Are they short-staffed? Or what the hell? Simon says you can set up a PO box with Royal Mail. It will not give out your address, and you can have your items delivered to your door. Okay, don't think that. Okay. Well, I think it may have been. It may have been one of the options that I looked at when I last had the PO box. That was like, I don't know, a year or so ago. But the trouble is, I mean, the PO box is £25 a month. Then I've got to get the bus from my place down to the PO box place. And then the thing is, there's nothing else there that I need. So it's not like it's at the city centre where I can go to the bus to the city centre, do some stuff, get a few things from the Poundland, and get my PO box stuff, and then there's nothing else there. This is the train station, so I go there for that one. But so if there's nothing there, I've got to do that a couple of times a week. Okay. So that way, if I can get it at the local shop, then that'll be even better. What's this? Mark Mullet just donated £5. Excellent. Thank you so much. Is that a wrestler icon? Looks like Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't know. Anyway, Mark Mullet goes on to say, visit the Patriotic Alternative website and read their 20-point plan. You'll like them, Mark. Get behind our people. Keep up the good work, mate. Oh, thank you very much, Mark Mullet. That's £5. What I'll do. My notepad. Got my notepad of all the scores. I'm doing the snooker 2009 on the PS3. Oh my god, I'm like second in the world. Let me see. What's this? Guilty police. Zombie movie. No shit. Oh yeah. All right. There's some notes I made for a movie. No. Visit the Patriotic Alternative. I think is that if that's the name of a YouTube channel, I'll have a look at that. On YouTube. Okay, I've made a note of that. So if that's a YouTube channel, I'll give that a go. Anyway, thank you very much for that donation. A big shout out to Mark Mullet there. Funky Spectrum, there must be cheaper than that. I pay 70 quid a year for my PO box. Bloody hell. Shit. 70 quid a year. Mind you, see, I paid for 3 months when I first got mine, and that was 75. Yeah. Mind you, see, that's the thing. I mean, if there's more than one PO box place, it's like everything else. If there's competition, prices drop. You know, if you're the only game in town, if you're the only place that offers a PO box function, you can pretty much charge what you like, because there's nobody else to beat you in price. 70 quid a year, that's pretty good. 17, was that 15 a month? 120. Just under 15 quid a month, I think that works out. That's pretty good. See, mind you, the thing is, I'd be willing to give that to my local shop just for me not to have to spend half an hour on the bus each way just to go find the PO box shop. Lizzie Complex, did you see that Marx wanted to sue Lidl for having Cuthbert the caterpillar, similar to Colin? I don't know. What did you say, Mark? Marks and Spencer? I don't know. Oh, fuck. English hearts. There we go. Prince Philip had his coffin taken away in a Land Rover. Prince Andrew wants his body taken away in a 15-year-old Escort. Oh, God. All right. Peter Dawn. Hello to you. Haven't seen you for a while. Sounds like a mega stressful day you've had, Mark. Indeed. Good to let off some steam. We would love to send you some things again with a PO box. That was a lot of fun. It was indeed. If I can organise the getting the shop to do it, then have the PO box, then yeah, but by all means I'll have it, because I tell you, it was fun. People sending the postcards. It was interesting, because I mean I don't know whether some people didn't believe me, but a lot of people did, and they sent postcards made up of pizza box, make a postcard out of a pizza box, or a pasty box, or a what do you call them, Jaffa cake box, whatever, because I do it all the time. If I send a postcard off to a competition, or send a postcard to somebody, I'll do it on the back of a pizza box or something, cereal box. Yeah, I mean, you get a box of cornflakes, you could probably make 6 or 8 off the front, 6 or 8 off the back, possibly the size. So that there's, what's that, 12 to 16. You pay £1 for that down the shop if you buy postcards. I mean, if you're thinking, oh yeah, Mark, because there will be some people watching this saying, oh shit, Mark, that's a bit cheap. What is a postcard? A postcard is just a flat piece of cardboard, exactly the same as a cereal box. Just cut a square out. It's a flat piece of cardboard. Only this has a nice glossy picture on the back, and you actually pay big money for if you go and buy a postcard with a glossy picture on the back, they cost more than plain ones. So anyway, if anybody's interested in looking at the money saving tips, of which that is one, go into or was it, might be in my playlist. Go in the playlist, or just type in Mark's Remarks money saving tips. There's a bunch of them. I don't know what there is. I don't know. There's over a dozen, I'm sure. But there's loads, and it's all these little things. It's not like you're going to save yourself thousands of pounds doing this thing. You save a little bit. Like for example, when I worked in the loading bay years ago, we had these huge bins, huge like what they call Euro bins or something, yeah, bit more recycling bins, big blue bins, and you put all your recycling stuff in. The office people upstairs used to fill in their stuff, so we used to bring it down to the basement where it would be collected, once a week, and we had the keys to it because sometimes we'd have to open them up and throw shit in there and stuff. Anyway, I used to go diving in there. I used to pull out all the newspapers, right? It doesn't matter how old they are, and I used to tear out all the Sudoku puzzles. You know, you pay a few pounds for a book dedicated to Sudoku puzzles, but if you just get them out of the newspaper and you realise that depending on how good you are, I mean, the son being a lower reading age, they will have very easy Sudoku puzzles. You go for the independent. Oh, the independent is the far extreme edge of that. If you're when you're really good, then you go for the independent. If you're in the middle, you go for the Daily Mail. One of the newspapers anyway, but the Daily Mail in the middle. Save yourself a fortune. Just get some old newspapers, cut them out. I don't know, stick them in a book, or in a book. Get some glue, put them in a book, or just use them as they are. Save yourself a bundle. Things like that, which is not in one of my money saving tips, by the way, because I've just remembered it. But little things like that, saving up all your slivers of soap and just weld them to a brand new bar over a year. It saves you pences turns into pounds. And hello. That's the thing. I'm not sure if because if I move the comments, there you go. There's Mallet. Okay, 15 quid a month. Is it, yeah. What else? I said 15 a month, didn't I? No, I'd be waiting. Was it 70 quid a year? That's so I'm just looking at the trying to work that out. It's that's about £5. Yeah, that's what I meant. I went the other way, didn't I? Instead of 50, I went. Yeah, five. You're right. Funky spectrum. I think I've been drinking some vodka, but my math is. I think I'm roughly £5. That would actually, if there was 14 months in a year, then it would be £5. No, fucking, I don't know. Somebody work it out. Shit, I've been drinking vodka. I don't know what I'm doing. Bob Matthews in the house. He's talking to Mark Mullick. Yeah, there you go. Funky Spectrum says it's about £6 a month. Yeah. Peter Dawn, the food reviews from the food items we sent you was quality. Although, sorry about those sour sweets. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, Jesus. Oh man, they were nasty, those sweets. They were sharp. Oh God. English Heart says he's got an email telling me he's inherited 5 million in Bitcoin. Yeah, from somewhere in Jamaica or some one of those African countries. I don't need money. Saving tips between that and the money from the Nigerian prince. I'll be a billionaire before Christmas. Indeed. Yeah. I haven't had any of those, but I have had that phone call. I've seen lots of these on the YouTube channels. You get the phone call, It's an automated message saying, "Yeah, this is the Inland Revenue, a recording message. You're behind in your taxes. If you don't, you owe some money, and if you don't do it in like the next 24 hours, we're gonna then the police will be involved. That kind of shit. I can't believe they still try that. Mind you, I mean, they're playing the odds, aren't they? You do it you ring up 1,000 people, all you need is one, and then you get a few £1,000s out of them. So I mean, playing the odds, but yeah, there there will be somebody who'll fall for it, somebody old or stupid, but yeah, the best thing to do is if you ever want to find out about those things, type in, my nose is blocked. Type in scammers or whatever, phone scammers, this kind of thing, and there are people who record their phone calls. And that's one of them. Everybody's heard about the Nigerian one. Oh, I've got like a million, I've got like 5 million in the bank here in Nigeria, and I need to send it to you, a complete stranger who I've never met before, and I trust implicitly, but we've given you all this money, and then all you got to do is give it back, and I'll give you £1 million for your effort. I mean, if you actually stop to think about it, if you had £1 million in the bank or 5 million quid in the bank, and the IRS were hot on your ass and they were going to take it all, would you randomly look through the phone book, find some guy in a faraway country and says, "Oh, listen, I've got 5 million in the bank. The IRS are up my ass, right? Can I send you this money? And then when they disappear, then you give me it back minus £1 million for your effort." Yeah, you wouldn't know, but they expect you to believe that. George C. Cooking your own food instead of eating out too much is great money saver. Yeah, indeed. So thanks, Mark. Yeah, I tell you what though. I mean, I like to eat. I used to, I like going to the chippy now and again, or the, get up a kebab or something. But I noticed, and I actually commented it to people at work. When you start cooking at home, especially with all the, if you take advantage of the bargains, the discounted stuff, the stuff that's coming up on date, the stuff that's damaged, you go to Farmfoods and get, bags of veg, 5 of them for £4. Yeah. Farmfoods in Iceland are full of these, 3 for £5s and all that kind of stuff. You start cooking at home, real food that you've paid a budget price for. It is amazing how much money you have in the bank at the end of the month when it's next payday. And fuck me, I've got more money than I actually thought, because if you're depending, say, on that paycheck to come at the end of the month, so you budget to make it to the end of the month. But then when you get to the end of the month and you've got an extra 150, 200 quid in the bank that you wouldn't normally have, it's because you haven't pissed it away on kebabs and I tell you what though, because it doesn't take much. All right, I mean, at the top end, right? Say you go for a pizza at Domino's or any of these fast food places. You're looking, at the cheaper end, because they won't deliver the small pizzas; they'll deliver the medium upwards, right? You're looking at £12 to £20. Domino's, and some of them, they do deals for £25. 2 pizzas, bottle of Coke, and 2 sides, that kind of shit, for 25 quid. And there are others that, there are other deals that Domino's do. You spend 40 quid on the internet, on the computer, spend 40 quid and give 50% off or some shit like that. But there are deals for, so anything from sort of 15 to 25 quid. That's if you want a pizza at the, I mean, you do that once a week for a month. That's £25 times 4. That's 100 quid. You go to the chippy, big fish and chips. You're looking at sort of £6-7. Fish at my place is like £5.50. and then say £2 for the chips. That's £7.50 for fish and chips. £7.50. You go to any of those kebab shops or burger, chicken shops. You get a couple of chicken fillet burgers meals. There's £10 right there. You may go, yeah, just £10. But you do that over a month, twice a week for a month. That's £80. Yes. So I mean, if you get fish and chips twice a week for a month, that's 8 times. That's close to £80. So if you don't do that, that's an extra £80 in your bank just by cooking in the kitchen, following my example on following my cookery videos. I mean, there are times I'm starting to feel the effects of this fuck. There are times when I'll go out and I'll have a pizza or I'll have a kebab just for a change. But on the whole, you save a fortune. But you just it's because you spend it in little increments. You go in and you think, £5 for a chicken burger. That but you do that a bunch. Those add up. And but yeah, I've actually noticed that, and I've commented to people at work. It's like, shit, I've got more. It's because I haven't been spending it. I've been missing a load of. Lee Merton says, "Hope you're okay." Indeed. Sims Insider. What's my thought on Bitcoin? I think it's a big fucking load of hooey. Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the thing is, I mean, I don't know shit about Bitcoin other than it's virtual money. Okay, at the very beginning, you heard people say that they would spend. When it first came out, they would use 10 bitcoins to buy a pizza. All of a sudden, and nowadays, you spend 10 bitcoins on a Ferrari. So if you got in at the very beginning, cashed up, got the hell out, you'd be a fucking millionaire, right? But also, I mean, that Bitcoin are not the only people. There's like fucking 10 of them out there. I was watching this this show, and there's loads of them. So it's not like it's not like if you wanted to invest, if you wanted to save money. Say you wanted to stash some, sock some money away, right, in your drawer. You would choose a currency, all right. If you happen to be living in England, which probably most of my viewers are, you would stash pounds and pence in a sock, stick it under your pillow, right? If you're American, you'd have the dollars. If you're in Hong Kong, you'd have the Hong Kong dollars, or Australian dollar. Right. But point is, right, out of the fucking hundreds of different currencies out there, you choose one. And it's mainly one that you can deal with, right? I would sock away English money because I happen to be living in England. You wouldn't invest in all of them, right? But it's like that with the Bitcoin. You've invested in Bitcoin, but there's 12 other bloody companies selling the same shit. Which one do you do? Because I don't know the ins and outs, but I'm pretty sure that you can't take Bitcoin and use it with another company because they got their own name for this invisible money. So you can't sort of, I don't know. But besides, I mean, I want money to be in my hand. All right, it's bad enough it being in a bank because that sort of makes it virtual money. But if you're saving money, saving your coins and putting some aside, it's good to have it in your hands. You have it. I mean, the value of money can drop down a crapper. That's happened before. I mean, back before my time, I remember hearing stories about when the inflation went so far down the toilet that people were taking money. No, I think it was Germany, not England. What am I talking about? Unless I'm wrong, but it happened in Germany. The economy went tanked so bad, people were taking their wages home in wheelbarrows. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but when it costs, but when the money is worth so little. it costs you 400 quid for a loaf of bread instead of a quid. If the economy tanks so much and it costs £400 for a loaf of bread, 250 for a pint of milk. If money drops that much, then yeah, you will be taking money home in a wheelbarrow. But no. What do I think of Bitcoin? I would prefer, if I had the cash, which eventually, because I was thinking about this for a while. These guys. I was thinking about investing in gold. All right. Because or precious metal. I mean, I've got copper in the other bedroom, which is you could call it a precious metal. It's worth £3 a kilo, as opposed to gold, which is in the in thousands a kilo kind of thing. But I was thinking, I mean, what's to stop these at the Sea Centre market here in Milton Keynes? You've got people who buy and sell gold jewelry and shit, right? The Tesco at Kingston, if anybody knows Milton Keynes, there's a guy outside there. He's got a stall. He buys scrap gold. When your granny dies and you inherit a box of crap and you find some jewelry in there, you take it down there. They tell you what they're going to give for it. They'll give you they won't give you jewelry value for it. They'll give you scrap money. Mainly, they'll buy it. They'll sell it on to a dealer or a company, and they will melt it down, turn it into bricks, and then they'll turn that into gold chains. It's how that works. So they're going to give you meltdown money on your jewelry. But I mean, you could go to them perhaps and say, "Look, I don't have any money. I don't have any gold to sell, but I'm interested in." See, the thing is, you could say to them, any of them, possibly, instead of you buying the gold and selling it to a big company who are going to melt it down, why don't you sell a little bit to me? I've got 100 quid. I've got 200 quid. Sell me, what you would get from these people plus a little markup for your effort, but you sell it to me. And then what you do, you stuff it in a sock, throw it in the back of the drawer, save it up for a rainy day, because gold apparently holds its value quite well. I mean, when people are talking about the doomsday, I mean, if you want to see, oh, by the way, look at my playlist, you'll see my doomsday playlist of things to, but they're mainly food items. Well, not food, mainly supplies that you would save for when the shit hits the fan, or the fucking Chinese decide to give us another plague. But one of them you could do, because I watch these things on the YouTube, and a lot of people, they save cash. They save like $1 bills, or in our case we have coins, £1 coins now. You save small denomination coins for when the machines go out, when there's no ATMs working. The shops are only taking cash, which has happened. I mean, how many times have you gone to your local shop and it says cash only because the card readers buggered, right? The ATM's fucked, so now you've got to go someplace else to get the money to come back to pay in cash. And also, if the bank or if the banks are inaccessible and the ATMs don't work, you have to buy food and bits and pieces with small denominations, because you can't go spending £20 notes and all this stuff, because you got to have change. So I mean, what they do is they talk about using gold as a barter. Like similar to what I've used. If you look on the videos, you'll see that one of them is the Co-op. They do a book where you buy £1 stamps. Let me see. What do you do? I was just thinking you got to lick them, but you lick them. You stick them in the book, and the book holds 50 stamps, but you don't have to hold 50 stamps. Oh, let me. Oh. Yeah, it's similar to this, all right? This is the Co-op. You can go into most Co-ops, and if they don't do them, complain, all right? And then customer services and complain that they don't do them, because I had to fucking complain. I'd get the books, and then 3 times out of 10, they would have the stamps to put in them. It's like, oh my God, I'd phone up the customer service and say, look, I'm trying to build up a surplus here, and then they don't have any bloody stamps, so then they made sure they had the stamps, and I've got I don't know. I have to get about 150. See, I've got £15 in each. I don't fill it right to the top. 50 stamps. I'll just put 15 because I can go in because they if you don't spend the £15, they give you the change in stamps. Say there's 15 quid, and if you spend £10.50, they will give you £50, 50 pence to make it up to 11, and then give you the £4 in stamps. So I don't want to do that. If I don't want to spend 10 quid and get 40 stamps, so I just figure I'll just put a few in each book. So this is one way of saving. Okay, but what my point was about the gold. They say that the gold is a good way, but the way to do it is to buy it in coins because they are recognizable as what they are. If you've got a gold sovereign, for example, you know this is gold and this is a certain weight because whereas if you buy scrap gold, it's cheaper to do it that way than buying a gold necklace at ridiculous fucking shop prices or a coin at ridiculous shop prices. Okay, but if you have scrap, then it's still gold, but it's but I mean there are ways of testing it. Okay, you can test it to see, but and then of course you get some chemicals, you put it on it, and it to test it whether what grade of gold it is, whether it's gold plate 922, so that is a good barter. Like if the banks, if the machines are out, you can pay for anything with gold. Yeah, okay, you can't walk in the co-op and buy your fucking milk with it, but I mean, you can trade, with a gold ring. You could say, you said to somebody, listen, give my car a good going over. All right, change the tires, put some more, make sure the car is, it's new spark plugs or whatever the fuck it needs. Get the car running, and in payment, I'll pay you this piece of gold because everybody knows the value of gold. If the shit hits the fan, you pay somebody with a piece of gold, a piece of a gold ring or a piece of a gold snappy whole necklace, just a piece of the necklace. You weigh it, you figure, okay, gold is worth this amount of money per this weight. This little piece of gold chain is worth this amount of money. I'll pay you this to go up on the roof and fix them apart. But if I hold this up, I got given this as a gift. There you go. It's a piece of gold. Well, it's a gold coin, and there's the back. There's the queen's head on the back. There you go. Fucking on my eyes. Actually, there's a card with it. Okay, what it is? 2017 Albany Platinum Wedding. Oh, but for the platinum 2017, the Queen had a platinum wedding. 1977 was the silver jubilee, by the way, the silver wedding. This is gold proof half sovereign. There you go, for anybody who wants to read that. Gold proof. So this is a half sovereign. Oh, there you go. And it says on the back, there's actually a description on the back. I don't know if you can read that. Maybe you can. I'll put this there. You can freeze frame that if you need, and I'll read it to you. Metal, 22 karat gold. Year of issue, year of our Lord 2017. Country of issue, Albany. Mintage, 999. I don't know whether that's one of 999 or this is number 999 out of a million. I don't know. Anyway, diameter 19.30 millimeters, weight 4 grams. So there you go. It says 4 grams. So this coin weighs 4 grams of 22 karat gold. There you go. So with that knowledge, you can work out what the value of it is and whether what it is you want to trade for something in a shit hits the fan scenario. You see. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, the thing is, I fucking went mad. I kind of at the time I went mad because I would imagine that cost a lot of money. Somebody, uh, there are more economical ways. Although it was a nice present, a nice thought, it's not the most economical way. Although with that information on there, you know what grade of gold, you know how much it weighs, all this other shit. You can work out a trade price for it, But then you can do the same thing if you buy these people who buy scrap gold. All they do is sell it to a company and they melt it down, turn it into bricks, and then they sell it on as bricks to somebody else who will melt it down again, turn it into gold chains and rings and stuff, right? So all you're doing is cutting out the middleman. So if you go find one of these stalls, say to them, I mean, if they, admittedly, you'd probably hopefully find two or three. What I'm thinking of doing is, you'd go to one, you say to them, well, you see, what you do is you say to somebody, when people bring in you scrap gold, how about you will make how about you sell it to me for a small markup, if you need, sort of a backhander, if they're that way inclined. But you sell it to me as a small markup, so I get a deal. You get a deal because you get instant cash. You don't have to wait until you got £5,000 worth in a bag before you sell it to a company who's going to melt it down. No, you get a little bit of cash straight away. So now I give you £100 for this gold. Instantly, you've got £100 in your pocket, so you can go give it to some schmo who comes in with their granny's necklace. Give it to them, and you can turn it into extra cash. So it's a fast turnover. For a small markup on their part, you get a deal. They get a small markup. They get instant cash straight away, which they can invest in somebody else's scrap gold that comes in. Everybody's a winner. And then what you do is you take this gold that you've bought. Say he says that it's like there 22. It's a 22 carat ring. Sell it to a certain price. Then what you do is you go down the street and you find another guy who buys scrap gold. You say to him, "What are you willing to give me for this?" And he says, "Well, I'm willing to give you scrap money for this." Oh, he'll give you, say, top of my head, 100 quid. If you've just given the first guy, if you've just given him 110, say, you know that then that's worth he's given you £100 worth of gold and he's made £10 profit for his effort. That's fine. You go to the next guy and you say to the second guy, how much is it worth? He says, oh, it's worth 100 quid. You know that you haven't been fucked by this first guy. All right. You know that you've paid 110 for £100 worth of gold. And that's fine because he's got to make a markup, and you don't want to pay top money for it. So that's how you do it. And then you go and say to him, I would like to buy. How about I give you £100 worth of cash? You give me a gold ring or something that's high quality gold, because I want it just to sock away for a rainy day as an investment. So he'll take your £100. He'll give you a ring. You go to the first guy and you say to him, how much is this worth? He says, oh yeah, it's worth it's worth 90 quid. You've just given £100 to the guy for a ring which is worth £90, and that's fine because this guy's got to make a profit. He's going to quick turnaround. He's made £10. You paid, and the thing is, you may have paid £100 for a £90 ring, but you get scrap gold for your investment. Again, you keep it for a few years. Gold only goes up. When the fuck did gold ever go down? Not as far as I can tell. The gold slowly goes up. Either that or it keeps its values. It's like putting it in the bank. Only safer than the bank, probably, because the banks can go out of business. Like what was it? There was a bank in England that went under. Can't think of their name. I had a mortgage with them until I swapped. Shit, I can't remember. Virgin took them over. Anyway, and that way you've got an investment of gold. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Then you build it up. Just buy every month. Buy whatever you want. 30 quid, 50 quid, 100 quid, 200 quid worth of gold. But you buy it for one guy and get it verified at the second guy. and then next time you buy something from the second guy and verify it, because if you go to one guy, you give him 100 quid, and the ring's only worth a tenner, and you find this out, you've been fucked out of 90 quid. So then you go back and you have a word. All right, but if the second guy, but because you make the second guy who's independent, they don't know each other, you make, how much would you give me? How much is this worth? And if he says roughly the same price as what you paid for it, then this guy's trustworthy, and you can do business with him. Because only an idiot. So the thing is that there's not a saying, but there's something that I used to live by when I had the video shop. The idea is to separate the customer from his money. Fuck the customer, he'll never come back. But if you do right by the customer, he'll come back forever. He'll be loyal for the next till he dies. For the rest of his life. So if a guy sells you a piece of gold and he makes a small markup, you can't begrudge him that. But as long as he doesn't, give you good routing, then you'll go back the next month and you'll buy another £30. So even though it's only £30 a month, that's 300 a year for the next 30 years. Because that's if you stick with the same guy, in investing, all this, over years. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking I might, look into, saving up a little bit of money. Go to find a few places that sell scrap gold. If you go in and want, there's all kinds of videos on. I was looking at it actually, because I've been looking at videos like getting gold out of computer chipboards and stuff like this. And I can't actually remember because it's been a while since I've watched it. But you can watch them and make notes. The different grades. There is lots of different grades of gold, and different countries might have 2 or 3 different because when you look on the ring, you'll see those little watermarks, those little stamps, those marks that they put into the gold to verify that it is gold. Most people will just look at that and think, oh yeah, there's a mark on there, it must be real. They don't know what the fuck they're looking at. But each country they might have 2 or 3 different symbols for the same thing. I mean, there's so many. I mean, you've got your top quality gold. All right, you've got. I mean, when you're looking at 99.99% gold, you're mainly, I think, as far as I understand, you're mainly looking at coins. You're mainly looking at commemorative coins, ones that are not going to be bashed about and thrown around and dropped on the floor, and they're commemorative, right? Then you've got your slightly lower, because what they do, because gold is pretty soft, right? You can dent it quite easily, and it's quite soft. So what they do is they mix it with other metals to give it rigidity. Okay, so then it won't crumble and fucking break and dent as soon as you drop it. Anyway, so they mix it with other stuff, and then of course it brings it down. So and then you go further down where you've actually got what was it? There's one. There is a category which has got something like really low amount of gold, just enough to say gold in the title, and then you've got gold plated, which is basically crap that's just been covered in electroplated, so the gold fragments stick to it and shit. So the thing is, I mean, what you need is a professional to put you right, but what you need to do is verify the professional, right? So you do a little bit of business with him, and then you get his work verified with a different company. What would you tell me about this gold ring? And they're like, oh yeah, it's 22 karat gold. It's very nice. It weighs this much and it's worth this much. And like I say, if it matches what the first guy said, then you may have found somebody, but you keep on varying him. Keep on verifying. Anyway, I'm missing. But anyway, so how do we get on the Bitcoin, wouldn't it? So that's what I'm thinking of doing, because I mean, I've wanted to go to the seaside. I've got a metal detector, and I've got some Wellington boots that I use on the allotment, so I'm all right there. I was trying to talk my brother into we'll go down but of course nobody's been going to the seaside. We go down the seaside, metal detect for the day. see if we can find some treasure and stuff, you know. But maybe we'll do that in the see if we talk him into doing it in the summertime. But that'd be interesting, you know. I mean, if you find some, yeah, I mean, really, you want the beach to be packed out, and then of course in the evening time you go in there with a metal detector, see if you can find any coins and gold doubloons and stuff. Yeah, but that's a good way, you know. That's a good way to kick off a gold collection, you know. And of course, if you get low quality, see that there again, you could buy, you could find low quality jewelry on the beach, go in to to an independent gold melter, gold salvager, and say, what would you give for this? And he says, oh, yeah, all right, well, we'll give you 30 quid. Okay, put that 30 quid against some top quality gold, which I'm looking to, broken, give me some of that broken jewelry over there, which I can invest in. So that's 30 quid off of, just turn shit jewelry into good jewelry, even though it's broke. I mean, if you, if you had an entrepreneurial mind, that's the vodka working its magic. If you happen to, I'm going to tell you what, I'd be doing this. It's just that I don't have a car anymore, and I live about a mile and a half from the nearest fucking scrapyard. You know, scrapyard where they rip up cars and crush cars, that kind of scrapyard. Metal. There's one 6 miles away, and there's one about a mile and a half in the other way. If I lived very close to a scrap merchants, I tell you what, and this is something that maybe some entrepreneur out there could take up as a hobby, or if you live near a scrapyard, you might want to tell your kids about it. I would do this if I lived within walking distance of a scrapyard. I would, like in the old days, I told you about, when I used to keep chickens. Every Sunday, I used to go around with a bin bag and a picking stick and pick up cans off the floor, put them in a bag, tie it up, a full bag with about 200 cans, which is very easy to do. You can do that You can do that in a couple of hours. You just do it on one estate and then move to another area next week. It's easy as all hell to fill up a bag. Each bag will weigh 2 kilos if it's full to the brim of crushed cans. 2 kilos at 50 pence a kilo. That means that a full bin bag or red recycling bag is worth £1. Maybe a little bit more because sometimes it's 50p a kilo, and it's 60p a kilo. So you're looking at £1 to £1.20 for a big bag. You imagine if you or got your kids to do it. Say you filled up one bag a week. Say, for example, for the ease of math, one bag a week. So that at the end of the year, that's 50 quid. Okay. What you do is you collect up 50 bags in your back garden. You just collect up the bags till you got half a dozen of them, whip them down to this scrapyard, get your 6 quid for the half a dozen bags. You save that, or your kid saves that money. And at the end of the year, you get 2 bags is quite reasonable. If you hang out, if you go around the shops or get your neighbors to collect their aluminium drinks cans or pie trays, all that kind of stuff. You get your neighbors to save them. You could easily get 2 bags a week, maybe more, but say for the sake of argument, 2 bags a week. That's £100 a year. Now, like I say, you don't take all at once. You take in 6 bags at a time and collect up your 6 quid. Put it in the jar. At the end of the year, you've got a minimum £100. You take that, you find one of these gold merchants, and you say, "I've got £100 here. How much?" Find out so you don't get fucked, right? But you find out which of the. I'm not sure which is the best, the 22 carat or the 16 carat, or I know there is a formula to the carats. I think the carats is regarding to how much mixture, how much parts per of gold is in this thing. I think. But then right, you've got your £100. You go in and say, right, I've got 100 quid. Would you please sell me a beat up, broken, old piece of jewelry, a ring, necklace, bracelet, I don't know, top quality gold. I want nearest to purest gold I can get because I want it for an investment. If you do that as an investment for your kids, if your kids do it as an investment for when they're, assuming you're old watching this, or when they get to my age, when your teenage kid gets to my age in, say if they're 15 in 35 years time when they're my age, and they do this, £100 every year for the last 35 years, they'll have quite a chunk. That's quite an investment for a kid to have saved, rather than save money, because if he's got the money in the hand, it's easier to spend. Okay, which is, but if they save the money every year, they go and say, right, I've got £100. Would you sell me £100 worth of scrap gold that is destined for the furnace? Okay, and then they buy that. Like I say, stick it in the drawer, save it. Because once it's gold, I mean, you can sell it again for money, but it's not like you can just take it and buy a kebab with it. You've got to go find a special person to buy it. So it's a good way. You turn aluminium scrap, which you can pick up off the floor, turn it into gold. That is how you turn precious shit metal, aluminium, into precious metal. And it doesn't cost you shit. And if you live near a scrap merchants, and you can basically get a shopping trolley and drag 6 bags down there, or get you and your kids to get 2 bags each, whip them down there every month. Get your money every month, put it in the thing every year, turn it into a gold scrap. We're talking broken jewelry here. We're not talking about top quality shit that you can wear out to the disco or something. No, this is broken gold that somebody's inherited or found in the back of a wardrobe, and then they've sold it for scrap, and it's destined for no other purpose other to be melted. I'll tell you, that's what I'd be doing. If I lived within walking distance of a scrapyard, which some of you out there will be. There's enough scrapyards out there, and some of you are thinking, shit, we've got a scrapyard down the road. They mash up cars, and people taking their lawnmowers and washing machines as scrap because they scrap them down. Turn aluminium that you pick up on the street. It's a nice little hobby. Keeps the kids interested. Keeps the kids out of trouble, I suppose. Gives them an incentive to actually earn money, because kids nowadays, they don't really know the value of money. But if they know that they've had to spend a certain amount of hours to collect a certain amount of cans, which they turn into a certain amount of cash, save this cash, and it'll make a big lump sum, and we can turn that into a piece of solid jewelry, which in the grand scheme of things is it won't drop in value. It'll be broken, so it won't have a brand new, sellable value. It'll only have scrap value. Have them do that for a certain amount of years, even if you've got like say a couple of 10-year-olds, couple of 12-year-olds, doing that for the next 8 or 10 years until they're of age, until they want to get a mortgage. Say, you imagine if you've got a 10-year-old who is saving say £100 a year. And I tell you, £100 a year, I mean, it's not really that much when you consider you can collect all off the street, and if you get your neighbours to help as well, you can times that. But £100 a year for the 10 years between their 10-year-old and their 20-year-old when they get a mortgage, that's 10 years of scrap gold collecting. And then all of a sudden, they get this big fucking handful of gold, take it down to scrap merchants and say, right, what are you going to give me for this? You get a check for a big wad of money, and there's your down payment for your house. Imagine a kid having a down payment. I remember when I got this place, I had to save like fucking mad to save up $2,000 as a down payment when I bought this dump. And if you've got a 10-year-old kid who's been saving scrap gold for the last 10 years purely by picking up aluminium cans, that is quite a bonus for a kid to go straight in. Say they've got a couple of grand's worth of gold. Anyway, but that's what I do. Anybody think that's a good idea? Because I think that's fucking brilliant. And I would be doing it. Cuckoo Days says, Mark, will you marry me? But no, I tell you, it doesn't. I mean, there will be people out there, well, shit, no, it's stupid. But no, it actually makes sense to me. Because I remember I used to do it. I collected up cans in order to cash in for money, which I used to buy chicken feed in order to get free eggs from my chickens. Same thing. You collect the cans, you turn it into cash, you turn it into gold, you save it up, and you turn it into a down payment on a house when you're of age to get a mortgage. Simon says, ever tried magnet fishing? No, but I've seen those videos. People sling magnets into the river. They come out with pistols and motorbike. I've seen them. They pull a motorbike out of there with the magnets. But yeah, I've seen them pull out pistols and hand grenades. From the war. It's crazy shit. Remarkable says that's a good idea. To be fair here. Yeah. No, I'll tell you, I think it's a damn good idea. And like I say, if I lived near a scrapyard, I'd be doing that. I'd be rather than because the thing is, I used to do on a Sunday. You got fuck all else to do. What are you gonna do? Watch telly? And use the money for a good cause to buy grain, whereas I'd be using it to buy scrap gold. But once I get some money, I might well look into that. Because it probably won't cost a lot. I mean, because imagine, right? Because if somebody wanted to do this on a small level, all right, I'm going to try and move on to another subject shortly, but you imagine you go to one of these scrap gold dealers that comes, says, right, bring your scrap gold and we'll give you cash. If you go to him and if he's willing to sell you some gold, say you've got a foot long gold necklace, okay, scrap value might be worth I have no idea. All right, but for example, it depends on the thickness and the quality of the gold. All right, but for the sake of argument, you got a foot long piece of gold necklace. Turns out to be 50 quid scrap. Right, if you were to go in, he would give you £50, all right? But because he's got it, he will sell you it for 60 quid. So, because he's going to make a few quid on the top. So you say, well, I've got 60 quid. How about you cut it in half? I'll give you 30 quid. And then you do that every month, £30. Just what's it, half a foot? What's that? That's 6 inches of gold chain for 30 quid. You don't have to buy the whole thing. Because remember, it's going to go in the melter. So he doesn't give a shit. He'll cut off 1 inch and sell it to you. But if you've only got if you want to invest £30 every month, just buy half of that gold chain. Or he'll get the gold pliers out and he'll snap a gold ring in half and say, "All right, okay, well there you go, bang on the scales. There you go. This piece, it's look like that little coin there. It was 4 grams, 22 carat for 4 grams. I don't know how much it costs, but it was fucking probably way more than it's worth because it's a commemorative coin." But that's what they'll do. You just say, "Oh look, I've got 30. How about I commit myself to commit yourself to 30 quid a month, and then he'll be more inclined to do business with you on a regular basis rather than say, look, now listen, just wasting my time." And then on the odd occasion when you do a bit of overtime, say, right, instead of 30, how about I do 60? I'll do a one-off 60. Then I go next month. I'll go back to 30. He'll just take a bit of chain, cut it in half, weigh that, bang, there you go, 30 quid. And that'll be a good investment, And like with the cans, you don't have to do it every year. You could do it every 6 months, Yeah, get your money, invest in, because once you start seeing that gold climate mount up, there's your incentive to keep on going, Result. Does anybody deal counterfeit banknotes? Oh, shit. Pretty, I don't know. All right, remarkable. I think he's talking to somebody. Yeah. Anyway, but does anybody like that idea? Because it's turning worthless, something that's worthless, into something that's valuable. It's a good little hobby to get the kids out of the house, exercise, fresh air, give them a sense of worth. Make them earn their money. It's all very well saying, right, I'll give you a quid to walk the dog. or take the rubbish out, and you make a. See, that's the thing. I mean, if I had kids, I wouldn't be giving them pocket money because I'm too tight. But I wouldn't be giving them money. No, I'd want them to work for the money. I'd say, look, okay, I tell you what, look, I'll buy you I'll buy a lawnmower. You can permanently borrow it. You can go see if you can get any of the neighbours want their lawns mowing, that kind of thing. Make them work for it, and that'd be a good way. Anyway, look at that. I've been talking for 2 hours. Remarkable. Says, did I used to be a bodybuilder? Tell us about that. Well, yeah, I mean, back when I was 25, I was I was about I think it was about 23 to 25. I was bodybuilding in a local gym. I've done very well, in fact. I put a lot of work and dedication into it. I used to eat properly. I used to eat a lot of very few takeouts. I used to eat a lot of pasta, a lot of tuna, a lot of fish, a lot of those milkshakes that I've been whipping up. The Mark's protein shake. If you have a look at that, I used to do a lot of those, and I mean those ones I did in the kitchen. Those were lightweight. I used to do ones that you could barely drink. They were that thick. But yeah, I used to lift heavy weights. Different stages. There's different things you can do. You can lift a lightweight, light to medium, and do 40 reps. Say you're doing a bench press. All right. You're on your back in an inclined chair and you're pressing upwards. Medium to light, but you do 40, for example. Then you increase the weight, but decrease the reps. So instead of 40 light, you double the weight, but you do 10 really heavy ones. That kind of thing. So you alternate. So your body gets used to lifting heavy and light, that kind of thing. Little tricks like that. Oh yeah, remarkable. Yeah, it says there was a video where you showcase your photo from when you were 23, 25. Yeah, I was about 20, 23, 25 years old. Couldn't believe my eyes. Indeed, I tell you, I was one big muscly bastard. See, the thing is now, I mean, I don't have nearly as much muscle because I actually train specifically to gain muscle. A lot of muscle and very low in body fat, which I don't know what the percentage was, but it was obvious to me and everybody else that I was very low in body fat. Whereas now, more body fat because I'm twice the age. But the thing is, I still have the definition, especially in the shoulders and the arms. I mean, I've actually been I was on a site in somebody's garden. We were humping bricks and building a wall, and I'm standing there, and I've got this. I haven't got a cup of tea to demonstrate, but I've got this. I'm standing there, sort of daydreaming. Right? I've got this cup of tea in my hand, daydreaming, and somebody come up and says, "Jesus, you got some arms on you." Well, I don't know. It's just that I happen to be in a position where the arm was sort of like I'm holding, just fucking thinking about something while I'm drinking a cup of tea. So I keep it in the arms and the shoulders, the chest to an extent. I can flex the. I can't. Oh yeah, a little bit, but still, they're nowhere near as. But back in the day, I used to love it because you see on the television you could actually flex them. You flex the muscles so they jump. That was a cool thing to do. But yeah, that was back in the day. I was young and hungry for the training. What video did you? Yeah, it was on one of my. I think it was on one of my live streams. I can't remember what it was, but I held a photograph of it up. I don't even, probably not even in the title. What's this? T29 ASMX. Hello to you. George C. Most hobbies cost money, so if you can earn just a little, that's exactly a big win. Indeed, make one hobby pay for the other. You got one hobby of walking around, and of course you got skips as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be aluminium. If that's what talk about the hobbies there, get your kids involved in a hobby. It doesn't have to be aluminium. Aluminium cans are perfect because you find them on the floor, and I've gone, they find them in a bin outside the shops and stuff. But they're skips. If you find a skip outside somebody's house, you go rummaging through that. You can find you can find aluminium step ladders. If you get if people sling a fucked up step ladder or ladder in the skip, or leave it in a hedge or something. There you go. That's aluminium right there. There's 10 kilos of aluminium right there. Yeah, about 10 kilos, maybe a bit less, but I mean, it's a lot of aluminium, right? In one bundle, you've got 10 kilos. That's like £5 or £6. Kitchen sinks. Now they're not aluminium. They're called stainless steel. Similar to what your cutlery are made out. Not regular steel. Regular steel is shit. That's like 10 pence a kilo back in the day. I may have changed. But a kitchen sink is stainless steel, which is worth more money than regular steel. And also, if you go to a skip and you find a kitchen sink and you find the taps will be brass, I believe, which they're worth £2 a kilo. Well, this is going on years ago. They were worth £2 a kilo. So if you manage to rip them, you've got to separate the taps from. But if you rip them off, right, you've got your sink, bath taps or sink taps, brass. They're worth some money. Then you've got your kitchen sink, which is stainless steel, which is worth a little bit of money as well. So there's all kinds of scrap metal you can find. When it all adds up, turn it into gold. Citizen Cone. What trade was you doing? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think that. I mean, it's hard to distinguish whether people are talking to me or other people. Remarkable's asking what am I drinking? I'm drinking vodka with lemonade. T29. I'll call you T29 because you got some craziness. Go ASMX, IWS, IW. No shit. All right, T29. What's that? Wow, muscly, muscly. Yeah, still got the muscles. And I tell you, if I do any heavy work, like on the allotment with the cultivator, or working that jackhammer up against that chimney thing I was doing, a few days of that, it's like solid again. T29 says just saw it, but maybe that picture. Citizen Cone, just asking because I tuned in when you were talking about working on site. So yeah, I worked on a few sites. Yeah, actually, I do favour I like the heavy work. Should try powerlifting, Mark. Train to lift as much as you can instead of Ethernet. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. After after a while, because I went through, when I started training, I wanted I did it just to look good in a shirt, in a t-shirt, like if you're on the beach or something, just look good, fill a t-shirt. And then once you do it, then you're never satisfied when you're training. So you increase, you think, right, well, I want to get bigger, I want to get more solid, and then you get bigger and bigger. And then you start looking for not so much role models, but looking at other people, other celebs. Say my example was because I mean, I'm about 5'10", and back then I was about 12 stone when I was really sort of training hard. I was like 12 stone, so I was sort of like, well, he's picture. Uh, so I resembled. See, what I did, you try and find somebody who you want to emulate. Okay, and what I did, the nearest person I could find was Ravishing Rick Rude, the photograph, the wrestler. Okay, he had a similar body type to me. You know, he was a lot taller, but he had a slim waist, shoulders, the whole, you know, the stomach, the abs, chest, everything. If I was to model, if I was to resemble my body to, I think it would be Ravishing Rick Rude. So I used to look at Ravishing Rick Rude and think, right, well, that is the body shape and body workout that I need to be going for. If I was big and solid, I might try and model myself on, say, Hulk Hogan, for example, or Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, for example. You know, um, if I was a body type that was, say, 6'4" and a lot, so you've seen some guys are just big guys. If I was a bigger guy, I would have modeled myself on Hulk Hogan, but because I was sort of slim and very muscular, Ravishing Rick Rude was my model that I needed to emulate or try to emulate. So yeah, and then so I would go from very lean and muscular, and then I figured, well, I want to bulk out. I want to start getting. I'm no longer content with being very lean and muscular. I want to be bulky. So then I would change my workouts and change my nutrition. I'll be eating a lot more eggs, a lot more trying to increase my body fat by eating certain foods and lifting heavy weights rather than light to middle to heavy. I would just concentrate on heavy, do really heavy, but do 3 to 5 reps. I mean, I do a lot of that, well, I used to do a lot of that. You get the heaviest weight that you can fucking hold on to, and you do your bench press. Bench press, like I say, you're in a chair, inclined, and you bench press up, and because you've got the heaviest weight in you can, you're squeezing your pec muscles like crazy, but you'd only do like 3, 4 reps because that weight was so heavy, as opposed to a slightly lighter weight where you do 10 reps. But basically, you work out until you fucking collapse. That's how you did in the later stages. You picked the heaviest weight, you did a small amount of reps, and you did you had a minute rest. You go do another rep. You do a minute's rest, have another rep. You do that, and at the end of the day, you just work out until you physically can't lift anything. That was what it was like sometimes. I've seen people throw up, they have a workout. I've actually walked down the path to the gym, I'm like 20 feet from the door, and there's some guy flying out, puking up in the bushes, he comes flying out the door. The name of the video is called, the name of the video, so this is remarkable. The name of the video is called Mark's Remarks, me talking about when I was bodybuilding. That was the, that'll be the one with the picture then, yeah, so if anybody wants to see that, the video is called, if you type in Mark's Remarks, me talking about when I was bodybuilding, type that in, and it'll bring up that video, and there's me. What I do, I was holding the picture to the screen. That's the only picture I've got of when I did that, I intended to do some progress chart videos. Oh, actually, that's the thing. If you're bodybuilding now, or you're looking to get into bodybuilding, my advice from somebody who's done it, and the best advice is from somebody who's done it, so they, and sometimes they do it. They know these things because they never took the opportunity to do it. If you're going to do progress charts, say one photograph every month, and that way you can flick through the photographs and you see, right, you can actually see the progress you're growing. always be standing in the door frame of a room, your front room, the bathroom, your bedroom, the same door frame, every photograph, and that way, when you flick through the photographs, you can see how much of the door frame that you take up. But when you start, there'll be you in the middle with a lot of empty space. As you get bigger and bigger and bigger with your weight training, you will occupy more space in that frame, and you can judge. It's a lot easier that way. You can judge how bigger you're getting muscular wise by the amount of lack of space there is between your shoulders and the door frame that you're standing in. Just a little handy hint there. Yeah. Grim FPV. Remember when I was young, we used to train till we puked. Indeed. Yeah. I mean, personally, I've never thrown up when training, but I've seen it. I've seen it done. But I have worked out until you physically can't lift. But you see, even then, you lift the weight, you're bench pressing the heaviest weight you can, doing minimal reps for as many reps as possible, many cycles as possible, until you collapse. And then what you do is you just go for a lighter weight, and then you're able to do some more because you're humping less. That's one of the other tricks. Your body still thinks it's lifting that heavy bastard weight, but because you're lifting a lighter weight, you can, it's easier to move it then. When you, I forgot, there used to be a word for it. Train train until you fail, or something, basically until your muscles just give out. But then you just lower, you have a rest, and then you lower the weight, and then you can carry on a little bit. It doesn't necessarily, just because it's a lower weight doesn't mean that it's actually easier. It's actually just as hard, because your muscles are fucking all fucked up. They're totally exhausted. But it's a lighter weight, so it's easier you can do it. Oh boy, my eyes. Remarkable. George C. He's talking to George C. about a chicken pretty much screwing out the gate punched. Mark, did you ever do much cardio? Remarkable asked, did I ever do much cardio? Or did you rely on your metabolism? Well, that's the thing. When I was 25, I had a very fast metabolism, which made it difficult for me to gain weight. Not impossible, but it took took a while for me because I was training very hard and I was eating loads. You gain weight slowly. But no, I used to see what happened was I used to concentrate on like most people, if they don't really have too much of a goal, is they go in, lift some weights, trying to get as big as possible, and that's great. Well, what happened was, after a time, I figured, right, okay, I've reached the muscular condition that I'm happy with, I'm happy with, right? Oh, fucking hell, that's lemonade. What I'll do now is, see, what I figured was, now I'm going to start doing some cardio. Okay, we didn't have a running machine in that gym, but we had the bikes, and let's see what else. I think I had a rowing machines. I think anyway, but mostly bikes for the cardio. So what my plan was to start doing the weight still, but hitting the cardio as well. Okay, and then my plan was to go and sign up and try apply for the Gladiator TV show. That was the plan. But after a while, the show got cancelled because Wolf got caught with all them drugs, so they cancelled the show. So I never even got to apply. But that was my goal. That's why I switched my training to include a lot of cardio, purely to so I said I'd have a hope I wouldn't get murdered while trying out for the Gladiator TV show. procedure. Right. Oh, people are talking amongst themselves. Okay. No, I just remarkable. No, I tried to kill him. I mean, I've seen people. I mean, there was the conversation of drugs in the gym. I mean, there wasn't anybody sort of out there pushing the stuff. I mean, it was just a local gym on an estate. But I mean, there was people who were taking it, and there was talk. Okay, all right. Well, look, we've talked about a bunch of stuff. Got a good crowd watching. Anybody who hasn't hit the thumbs up, by all means, don't be shy. Hit the thumbs up. Oh, let's see. It's coming up on 8:30. I'm feeling a little bit tired actually. I'm going to go to the allotment tomorrow, so do some. I've made 2 raised beds that you've seen on the video. I'll go to my playlist allotment on the it's under the heading allotment. I might make another. I've got loads of wood. I've got loads of wood planks at the allotment. I just need to cut them to size. I've got other ones that they've already been wood stained. I've got a load of others that have not been wood stained. Which what I'll do. See what I did. I wood stained the whole lot, and then figured out what size planks I needed. So then I cut them, kept the bit that I needed, wood stain the end of the plank that I cut, and that left about that much to slang away, which is no good to anybody, which is a bit of a waste, because I've already painted the wood stain. So what I'll do is I'll cut the wood to size, then stain it. That way I won't be wasting all that wood stain. And then when I've got approximately 28 planks, I've got enough 2x4s for at least one more. Because the 2x4s, they go as the corners, the 4 corners. I've got enough for at least one more raised bed, maybe even 2. I think I might have enough for 2 raised beds, but I need 28 planks. 7 on each side, 7, 14, 21, 28, 4 sides for each raised bed. So 4 corners, 28 planks. Yeah. So I've got enough corners. I've got enough corners for 2 more, I think. I've probably got enough wood for possibly 2 more. And I'm going to get some more pallets in hopefully soon. I'm going to take them apart. Yes. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing. As long as it's not raining. It rained a little bit today, actually. Right. Actually, George C is in here keeping law and order. He's made him a moderator. This is the first made him a moderator last week or so, but this is the first time we've had the chance. Has the other one been in? I haven't seen his name come up. Peter B. Normally he's in. He's probably having a day off, but yeah, I don't recall seeing his name come up. Although I've been talking to myself on the little screen here. Remarkable. Geez, my eyes. It's called tofu by any chance. I don't know. I was talking to somebody else. Anyway, so yeah, I'll tell you what. We've covered a few subjects. What we covered? My fracas in the Farmfoods. Thing is, I wanted to get back there as well because I've got enough veg to because I got what did I do? Spent 20 quid. Oh, that was lucky because I had £20 in my wallet and I was intending to pay by card, but because I wanted to get the I didn't want to piss about, so I just gave. I was wanting to pay my card, but what it was just under 20 quid. So I gave him a £20 note, got the change, and left. I was just thinking, if I'd have paid by card, that would have been a good way for them to trace me, even though they've probably seen my picture on the surveillance camera, if they needed to. I mean, because like I say, the police drove by the bus stop, but there was a bus blocking the way. If they wanted to find me, they could quite easily do that by finding out, I would imagine, if I paid my card, they could trace me through that way. So there's your limit. There's a warning for you. If you're ever going to get into a fight in Farmfoods, and make sure you don't leave any paper trail. Just pay by cash so they can't trace you with a credit card. Anyway, all right. So we've talked about Farmfoods. We've talked about bodybuilding, turning aluminium into gold. See, the thing is, after I've done the live streams and I've loaded the video, then I have to try and remember all the topics that we've talked about, and then try and cram as much as that into the title. So today I'll have to put something like trouble in Farmfoods, or thing is, I only get 100 little characters, only 100 letters, which is not a lot. Let me tell you, it sounds a lot. 100 words, 100 letters, but remember that the space between two words is one little space. If you make a space and put a little dash to separate two words or two categories, that's one. Full stops are one, question marks are one, exclamation marks are one. Plus the fact that you're writing words, which takes up a lot of letters. Let me tell you, when you 100 letters, it doesn't go that far. So I have to try and get the near fight in Farmfoods, aluminium into gold, bodybuilding. What else have we talked about? Can't remember. Yeah, shit. Anyway, but even getting those three titles in 100 letters is going to be rough. So anyway, so sometimes I'll have to I have to miss out words to try and then still try and give the gist of what the topic is in the title. Miss a lot of if I talk about a lot of subjects, I can't list them all. Anyway, Andy Smith, how about the Farmfoods incident? Question mark. Well, that's the thing. The thing is, what I did, I went through. I did about a 15-minute chat. If you go to the beginning after the live stream, after I've loaded it, go to the very beginning. It's near the beginning. I don't know. It's about it's very close to the beginning. I talk about it for about a quarter of an hour. This fight I nearly had in Farmfoods today with this guy. He was looking like he was going to start wheeling that. He had a walking stick in his hand. I say walking stick. I mean, he wasn't a cripple or nothing. I mean, I wasn't going to fight a cripple in the supermarket. But he looked pretty spry. It was probably just to keep his balance or something. But he looked like he was going to use it as a weapon at one point. And then I pulled out the this thing and had that bar. As soon as I pulled it out of my pocket, he was going, what's that? Like I was a fucking arsehole, right? For whipping out this thing out of my pocket. Anyway, but that's all at the beginning. So you can have after it's loaded, you can have a watch of that. That was some funny stuff. I mean, it wasn't funny at the time. I mean, it looked like it was a big fucking riot going to break out. YouTube are a bit tight on the characters, the titles, and comments. Yeah. I mean, the title, you got 100 letters or characters, but I mean, it's not a lot. You need another 50. The description underneath, which I don't know whether anybody reads, but I think you get like 500 on there. So I might start. I don't actually use that. I do on my cookery videos. I write a description of what the thing's about, you know. But yeah, I might do that on the live stream. You know, use the comments because you get a lot more information. I don't know if anybody reads it, but you know, at least it'd be there. T29. No, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe meat or vegetarian meat alternative. No, I mean the thing is, I eat vegetables. I'm fine with that. No big deal. I'm an adult now. I can eat even vegetables I don't like. You know, I'll still eat them. Uh, but meat made out of vegetable, I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah. My thing is never say never. I mean, you know, I could try it. Matt Johnson, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm just about to go. Actually, I think I'm in a bit. I've been talking for about 2.5 hours. Bit of a shame because we've got loads of people watching. Well, I say loads compared to what I normally get. Yep, Joanna B. Yes, I'm still going. Just about to go actually. Yeah, I was just talking with Andy Smith about my incident I had today at Farmfoods. If you missed that, which I think you did, I think you showed up somewhere after that. But if you want to have a good laugh, go to the beginning of the live stream. I talk about this near fight I had with some guy at the cash till at the farm. Not I say cash till. It wasn't an employee. That's a good way to get yourself arrested. But it was just a customer and his shenanigans. There, Joanna B. Yeah, you can go to the beginning. It'll be all. It's all there. And yeah, I mean, if anybody wants, we can talk about it again during the next live stream. If anybody wants to bring up the subject again. George C. Do you you've put ever. Do you ever have a rough idea how long you want to go live for each time? No, I don't. I have no clue. The thing is, normally, I mean, it's depending on how bad my arse is aching sitting on this couch, or how drunk I get, and how tired I get, or how hungry I get. No, I have no clue. I sometimes, pretty much all the time, I have a few subjects to talk about. Like in this case, the Farmfoods incident. That was it, really. I think. Yeah, all the rest of it is sort of winging it, or just relying on people asking questions I can elaborate on. But no, I mean, I've been going for 2 hours 37 minutes now. In the past, I've gone for 3 and 4 hours. My first couple of live streams were like 9 hours. Yeah, the trouble is I accidentally deleted. The thing is, I didn't know what I was doing. I was going through all the buttons. Fucking deleted a bunch of them like a dumb shit. And but no, to answer your question, I have no idea. It all depends on how many questions are coming through, how interesting the questions are coming through. You know what I don't like? Because the thing is, I like in the past, and it's no big secret. I'm no fan of the homosexual and their lifestyle, right? But when people keep asking me, "What do you think about the gays? What do you think about the trannies? What do you think about?" I think, fuck me, I've told it. I mean, you know, things like that. I don't want. I try not to get into anymore because I've already talked about it plenty in other live streams. You know, it's interesting questions. You know, something that's sort of left, well, what they call left field. You know, is it something that's not the an interesting question. You know, actually, well, there's an example like yours, George C. How do you have a rough idea about how long I do the live streams? That's a question I've never been asked before, and it's an interesting question, and I'm happy to answer that. That's the case, you know, but and things like that. You know, a question that is, that, you know, I need to sort of give it some thought. But back when I first started to do live streams, I was getting questions like, "What are your thoughts on alien life out there in outer space?" You know, interesting questions like that. And then after a while, people start to realize my mind, how my mind works, and they start asking me about the trannies and all that lot. And you know, just I've already talked about that particular subject plenty of times. There's for me, it's just boring to go over the same. But yeah, that's a good question, and if the questions are interesting, I'll stick around for ages. Just when the questions dry up, and it's a mixture of that and how drunk I am. Funny enough, the funny thing is, I pretty much only drink when I'm doing live streams. I'm trying to think. Occasionally, if I have a kebab or something, I will, because I've got a few cans in the fridge that can be in there for weeks, months. I've actually had lager in there in the past. It's been there from one Christmas to the next Christmas, just sitting in the fridge. I'm not like one of these drinkers, or I don't really drink that regular. The only time I can, I'll drink regularly on the live stream. Aside from that, the occasional, but I don't know, I normally drink vodka when I'm doing the live stream. It's my libation of choice. But other than that, I never really drink with my meal, or never, if I go to somebody's house, I might, well, not really, but if I was to go to a restaurant, I might have a lager, But other than that, yeah. So on the subject of me getting drunk, so it's pretty much only when I'm live that I'm going, drinking. So it depends on how drunk I am, how hungry I am, John, use your backside as an egg timer. On your thoughts on space? I hate. Remarkable says, "What's your opinion on space?" He hates it personally. Well, that's the thing. I tell you. I mean, I watched a documentary a couple of years back, and he was talking about leaving Earth, getting on a big ship, and colonizing other planets in outer space. And they were, because all these scenarios, they always have the eggheads. They all, like disaster. Like they've got get the boffins together and say, right, disaster scenarios. What would happen if a meteor hit? Okay, well, the first thing is mass extinction on a wide scale for like 100 miles. The power goes out, the water's fucked. Rioting, certain things that would happen. The lights go out, people start rioting. That's the first thing that goes on, and they figure these things out, and they can plan for this thing about getting, they were talking about getting several thousand people. How many people would you need to put on a ship in order to travel to another solar system to colonize another planet, considering that out of these several thousand people that you put on a ship, pretty much everybody has to have a skill. There's no fucking free seats. Okay, you need to have a skill. You need to know about rocket propulsion, because you need to fix the thing over now and the next 100 years it takes to get to your destination. You need to know how to navigate space. You need to, or stellar cartography is the word for that. You need to know about rocket propulsion. You need to how to grow food. You need to how to basically keep a ship together. Because basically the crew, the people who are traveling on the ship, need to maintain the ship to get it to the, and how many people you would need to, because remember, you put a couple of thousand people on the ship, send them out into space, they are going to have to reproduce more crew members, because they're not going to meet and make it to their destination. They're going to have to reproduce and make more people who are going to be crew members for the ship to keep the ship running. So you need a certain amount of people to keep a deep enough gene pool to last for. I mean, say it takes 100 years, 200 years. Let's say 100 years. That's 3 generations. Well, maybe 4 generations. You've got a person who is born. They get to 25, then they have a kid. All right. So every 25 years, a new person gets introduced to so you're looking at every 100 years, that's 4 generations. So if a trip takes 200 years, that's 8 generations. That's how many crew members and and there's that's the kind of thing that interests me. Although I'd be the first one to get a seat, although I wouldn't know fuck all about space travel, so they'd probably fuck me off. But I have skills in animal, because we're taking animals with us, I would imagine. Probably the embryos. I wouldn't imagine too many live animals, except for say for example chickens, for example, because they're conditioned, or they're suited for captivity. You can keep them in. Unfortunately, that's how the battery system works. But they don't need a lot of space. They need relatively small amount of food, and they just churn out eggs every day. So I can just shit like that. Growing crops, I can do that. I'm pretty good. I've done that in the past. There's various others. But the point is, I wouldn't have the skills to be allowed on the ship, because they need some youthful people who are skilled, people who are going to live a long time, people who are going to reproduce to make new crew members. So they wouldn't be allowing anybody. They wouldn't be allowing any 60, 70-year-olds, because a 70-year-old's probably got 15 years of life. He's just sucking up oxygen and food. He's going to live 15 years. He's going to be no good as a parent. Because you get a 70-year-old having a child, well, 70-year-old man having a father and a child. Imagine him trying to keep control of a teenager. That wouldn't work. So you need young people. Yeah, that kind of stuff interests me. But of course, yeah. I mean, given the opportunity, it'd be great to be able to colonize other worlds in my lifetime. I mean, if all goes well, I might have another 30 years. If I make it to 80, it's 30 years. I doubt that we're going to be seeing aliens landing on the White House lawn in that 30 years. I doubt we'll be colonizing any other planets, or even building space stations like DS9, for example. I'm just trying to think. When was it? The Americans landing on the moon? Was it? It was around shortly before 1970. I was born in 70, and I think it was shortly before that. Somebody remind me if they know. But either way, say ran it up to 1970. That was only 50 years ago. So we've gone from the moon landing, and we've done pretty much fuck all since, right? But that's 50 years. So it's doubtful that we're going to go from now to colonizing other planets or building space stations that will be manned by thousands of people in the next 30. So it's unlikely that I will see that in my lifetime. But it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Although you imagine the world panic. This is one of those scenarios that the boffins think of. These world disaster. What if a meteor hits? What if there's a terrorist attack on the power station? They figure out what's going to happen, and they figure out what the aftermath is. Like, for example, the lights go out. There's going to be rioting. Okay. The shops, the shelves go out of product. People start panic buying like crazy whenever stocks do show up. They're buying stuff basically as much as they can carry. You look at when this plague broke out. People were loading up stuff from the cash and carries like it was going out of style. People know these things. They know that this happens, and this will happen as a result. So if aliens were to land or make contact, there would be, well, one, the government would be doing their best to cover it up because they don't want to cause a panic, and then two, if we found out about it, there probably would be a panic. There would be, and of course, religion as well. Religion would go out the window, because you imagine at the moment the Christians, well, every religion out there is all selling an invisible product, basically, right? They're selling the idea that a man upstairs looking down on us created the world. Well, in our case, Christianity. There's a guy up in the clouds. He created the world in was it 6 days, and he rested on the seventh. And there was the Garden of Eden, and the Adam and Eve, and Cain and Abel, and all this stuff. They're saying that God created Adam and Eve, and then he created all the little creatures, and he was responsible for it. And then the aliens land, and they say, no, 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 no. No, what actually happened was about 50,000 years ago, our alien ancestors come down, and we started interbreeding with all those cavemen, right? And we injected them with some alien DNA. And then we've stood back and watched you people evolve. Every several generations, you will get better. And you look at people. You look at people now as opposed to 70 odd years ago. When 70 years ago, the average height was like 5'3" for a man. Now it's 5'10". We get bigger, we get taller, we get stronger, we get faster. All the world records have been broken with athletics, all that kind of. It's because every generation gets better than the last. So if an alien come down and says that, yeah, we were breeding with the cavemen and cave women, injected them with some alien DNA, which is why you're so smart. This is how you managed to build the pyramids. This is how you managed to grow crops. Instead of going around, every day packing up your tent and pissing off to a new hunting down a wildebeest, you settled down, you grew crops, which gave you helped you have the time to invent agriculture, fire, how to melt a rock and get steel from this rock, and all this kind of shit. We helped you with that. And they say, well, so it wasn't Jesus, it was you guys. Religion would be out the window, so they're going to be doing their best to stop that from happening. And also the fact that if an alien craft did appear above the within sight of us ground dwellers, a bit like Independence Day, all that one with that black fella Will Smith, they come through the cloud, the ship comes through the clouds, the whole place would fucking go crazy. People would be shitting themselves to death because you'd be thinking, are we gonna get our brains sucked out by these aliens, like in Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds? Are we gonna be slave labor like John Travolta's whatever movie that was? Remember, he had the big guy with the dreadlocks, and Earthlings were slave labor, and they had those little masks that helped you breathe. Can't remember. Somebody remind me what that was called. But are we going to be slave labor? Are we going to be food? Are they our friend and want to share what they have, or are they going to be our enemy and take what we got? There's all these kind of things, across the economy. Imagine if a space alien did, even if it just went, it was like 3 miles up. Or somewhere, it was visible from ground, just stayed there, just hovered there, like in some sci-fi movies. How fast would the economy collapse? Would you be going to work if there's a fucking alien parked up there in full view, doing nothing, just hovering there? You wouldn't go to work. You wouldn't be going down to the gym. You wouldn't be going to the shops for your groceries. You'd be staying there. You'd be glued to your television, or you'd be out on your lawn with your binoculars, looking at it 24/7. Nothing would be done. No crops would be grown. No crops would be harvested. No factories would be churning out stuff. Nobody would be buying stuff. The economy would shut down, it wouldn't be overnight, I didn't think, but it'd be damn quick if nobody went out there building stuff or making stuff or spending money or basically doing anything other than sitting on their fucking lawn chair looking up in the sky. The economy would go down a shitter within days, within weeks at most. Nobody's out there spending money on mortgages. Nobody's out there buying new cars. Nobody's going out there spending money on holidays. It doesn't figure shit. I'm not taking out a 25 million mortgage if they're going to be sucking my brain out in the next fortnight. Nothing would, so the world would basically shut down within days or weeks, So that's what would happen if the aliens did come down to say hello. As much as we all want to meet aliens, I mean, who wouldn't, right? The friendly ones, the ones that look like Kim Basinger in My Stepmom is an Alien. Yeah, if they look like that, then great, welcome. But other than that, you'd be shitting yourself thinking, you're not going to be, that's it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to work. No, nothing. Fuck it. So anyway, that's my thoughts on space travel and aliens. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see aliens. I would love to know, that there is other life out there, other than microbial fucking viruses, little microbes out there. Something, friendly and, willing to share their alien technology. Yeah, because I want to live long enough for them to invent the holodeck. I mean, imagine the porn that would be happening in those holodecks. Jesus Christ! You figure a big screen telly with porn on it's good, but I tell you, no, but I'll tell you, if they invented the holodeck, I'd be in there and I'll be up there with a gladiator sword and shield. I'll be in the gladiator arena. I'll be training like fucking hell to, be a murdering gladiator. That'll be the first day. That'll be the first holodeck program I'd be going into, and then the porn, of course. Anyway, all right. Let's. Mark, do you watch Ancient? Oh, do you watch Ancient Aliens? That's from Dora Bunny. Well, I have watched it. That's a guy with a weird hair, and Danovich, some guy Danovich. Yeah, some interesting stuff. I mean, a lot of it's hooey, but when they go to these ancient villages, these ancient cities, like 2,000 feet above sea level, up in the mountains, right? You got all these cities carved out of stone, and then you've got these square blocks that are perfect square. And they think, well, fuck it. There's absolutely we would have trouble now making a square in a rock, a square hole in a rock with the stuff we've got. How are these ancient dummies going to be doing it? Must be aliens, Yeah, I mean, it sounds good, but I don't think the ancients were as stupid as we seem to be making them out to be. I mean, they managed to survive millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years or whatever, so they can't be that stupid. They managed to, feed themselves and build shit. But yeah, I don't think we give them as much credit. I think we figured, well, they don't have internet, they don't have television, they don't have microwave ovens. They've got to be stupid. So how the fuck are they going to do anything? No, they're pretty smart. They may do with the technology of the day. If the technology of the day was winches and cables and winches, or horse drawn. If you've got a big tree or a big rock, you put it on a sled, you get a horse to drag it. Simple. You may do with it nowadays. Of course, we use a tractor. Same thing. It's just the same job, different technology. They worked out. It's like in 1,000 years from now, they'll be looking back at us and saying, "Christ, they use tractors. They use lorries to transport goods from over there to over there. They actually had to leave their house to go to a shop to buy stuff, food, bring it home." What a bunch of primitive motherfuckers they were. That's what they'll be thinking about us in 1,000 years, just like we are looking at them. No, they got perfectly fine with the technology they had, and I think they managed to build the pyramids without alien intervention. All it takes is a certain amount of manpower, obviously, But there are several ways. I mean, there's people coming up with ideas all the time that when you've got your pyramid, I mean, one, you got your pyramid and then you build a ramp. I mean, that apparently that doesn't work because the level, because apparently to drag a big rock up a ramp, it has to be at a certain level. It can't be too steep. Otherwise, you can't push it up the thing. You can't be too level, can't be too flat or level because basically you want to get it high, right? So you have to have it. So the length to make it of the right angle, the ramp would have to be a mile long, you know. And of course, you've made this out of dirt. You've humped buckets of dirt to make a ramp. It wouldn't work, you know. There's other way that what they did. They say that they built water tanks around the pyramids, and they loaded up a several ton block of stone, put sheep bladder balloons all around it, put it in a tunnel and had it glide. A bit like if you got a tube full of water, and you've got say you've got you got a tube full of water, it's 6 foot long, and say you put a rubber duck in the tube at the bottom. As soon as you let go, what does it do? It rises to the top. That was the principle. That's another idea they've had. So to make it rise to the top, they would tie, you know, lots and lots and lots of airbags to it, sheep bladders and stuff. You know, that's one of the ideas. Of course, nowadays we could do the same thing, only we'd be using polystyrene bricks like you do at the swimming pool. You know, or using big bags full of air. We would be using sheep bladders. We'd be using thick rubber bags. I mean, like say car tires. You know, something like car tires, right? You fill them up, tie a bunch of them, and it will, you know. No, you just make do. I just had my. Shit! My eyes are going. All right, David Copperfield, when do you think the world is going to end? In 100 or 200 years? That's interesting, actually, because yeah, I mean, the thing is, I tell you, it's definitely going downhill. I mean, this global warming business, you know, I don't know. I mean, if you were to guess this global warming, I mean, if I was to guess, I'd probably figure, you know, earlier than 2000. You know, but I'd say like 19. You know, you only really started hearing about it in 1990-ish, I guess. You know, I've watched documentaries and they're talking about it back in 1970. Oh yeah, the term global warming was a well-known phrase that was used by people in the know. It wasn't like something that they just dreamt up a few years ago. The word global warming, they knew 1970. There's documentaries, and they're talking about it then. And we've done fuck all about it. So now we're in the shit. The oceans are getting polluted. We're overfishing the ocean. The population in people is increasing, which means we need to take up more land to build houses. The more land you take up to build houses means less land to grow crops to feed the growing population. So it's all a big clusterfuck, really. You know. So yeah, I mean, and unless we do something, I mean, I think it was well. You've got the Christopher Lambert, or Christopher Lambert, him from Highlander. He was in a film called Fortress. You've got that where what they did a government mandate, a new rule that says couples are only allowed something like 2 children, or you know, one child per couple, or 2 children per couple, and that's it. Go over above that, and you're instant in prison. I think China did the same thing years ago. Didn't they have a population mandate where they said, right, only a certain amount of kids per people? Unless we do that, because the population is just growing. Okay, and that's the problem we got. You've got the population growing. You've got to house them. So you've got to take up land that you could use as crops. to build houses. But then because you've got less crops, less growing, you got to find it difficult to. It's difficult to feed the population because there's more. The population is growing. There's less land to grow crops. So then you've got the problem of how do you grow crops faster? Well, what you do, you start introducing chemicals to the crops and to the cows and to all the animals to make all this stuff grow faster. And that leads to problems because now we've got to eat the stuff, you know. Yes, it's all going to shit. So yeah, so I mean, yeah, I mean, in 1 or 200 years, we're going to be if we're not done for, we're going to be in some deep shit. Even way sooner than that. Uh, if the temperature, I mean, like when they talk about the ice caps, that we're losing a certain amount of ground per day because it's melting. This is nothing new. I mean, somebody asked me several months ago on a live stream about whether we're causing the global warming, and the thing is that I am of the opinion is global warming has happened over and global warming, global freezing, global warming, global freezing, warming, freezing, warming, freezing. It's happened backwards or forwards over a millennia. Okay. It's happened. It's the way it works because of the way the Earth spins. The top and the bottom are ice caps. The world wobbles on its axis anyway, but it happens. Okay, it's a natural evolution of the planet because of the way it works. Um, the planet will heat, it will freeze. It will heat, it will freeze. This is why like in Egypt, and the deserts, they used to be lush forests and farmlands. Now they're all deserts. Farmlands that we have now in certain areas of the world, they used to be deserts. So it changes. We've got oceans that have evaporated and they've turned to again forests over hundreds of thousands of years. They changed the environment. We didn't cause it, but we are not helping by what we're doing. What with emissions from cars, the amount of heat. I mean, from the when you've got lots of different villages and towns spread all over here, right? They don't really generate a whole lot of heat and mess things up. But when you get all people together in cities and in these huge cities with hundreds of thousands of people, all that heat. Okay, you've got body heat, you've got heat from houses, you've got heat from cars, you've got heat from everything, all accumulated, and then that one area gets, you times that by hundreds of thousands of cities around the world. I would imagine that would have a help, because here in Milton Keynes, right? Let's see, I'm 50 now. We came here in 77, so I was 78. I was like 8 years old. When we first came to Milton Keynes, it wasn't quite as built up as it. In actual fact, it was a brand new city. They were parts of. Well, I remember the shopping centre, the Milton Keynes shopping centre, wasn't even complete. They were still laying the marble floors down in the shopping centre. That's how new that was. And I remember, let's see, I would have been 8. So between 8 and 12, it used to snow solid. Okay, 2 months before Christmas and 2 months after Christmas. Fucking solid. You'd be up to, 2-3 feet of snow sometimes. It was thick with snow 4 months out of the year. I don't know, and a mix of what they call, maybe global warming, a mix of the city has grown outwards because this city's always growing. They're all building houses, so the city has got bigger and bigger, more people in it, generating heat. Now, I mean, if anybody here is in Milton Keynes, I mean, they'll tell you we barely get 2 days of snow now. Instead of 4 solid months, we're lucky to get 2 days. And even then, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it has been, you've got December, and then come January, sort of late January into February, there'll be 1 or 2 days of snow. Even here, out my back window, it was about 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. There was some snow. Only lasted a day. It snowed pretty, fairly heavy. But then it was gone the next day. It was gone. So you got your mixture of all that heat coming up from the big cities. So when you consider that, I mean, it seems obvious that there's something going on. The place is getting warmer. So yeah, I don't even know if we'll make the 100 years. As if we don't know, we'll have to be living on house boats or something. Because if the water rises, Okay. All right. Listen, I mean, right. It's been slightly over 3 hours. 3 hours, 10 minutes. I'm going to call it a day. Oh shit. I'll have to lay down and get something to eat as well. Yeah, I managed to. I bought this from. CEX up the city centre has opened their doors. They weren't letting anybody last week. I went in and I bought this. This is season 2. I already had season 1 for months now, and season 1 I bought. It was quite expensive, I think, for what it was, but I've been waiting for season 2, and I found this by luck in there. Season 2, £4. I think it's 10 episodes. I don't know. Probably says on the back here somewhere. Anyway, so if anybody, Ash. This is Ash from the Evil Dead movies. This guy Bruce Campbell. He's been in lots of stuff. Lots of never. He's got a big fan base, but it's a select. It's a loyal fan base he's got, but unfortunately the numbers aren't there. He was in this one where he was a swashbuckler. Back in the Zorro days, kind of thing, as his secret agent in the Zorro days. He was in that. I can't remember what that was called. That was very good. But the trouble is, there's not enough people who watch his stuff. But he keeps on trucking. Anyway, he's done Ash versus Evil. So at the moment, I'm rewatching series 1 or season 1. I mean, you have to recap before I get to dive into season 2. Oh, fuck. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, thank you very much, George C. Great stream, Mark. Thanks for putting the time in as always. Well, thank you for staying with for the live stream, George C. Thank you for being a moderator. I saw. I haven't been. The thing is, when I'm onto a rant, I sometimes I miss a lot of stuff that's going on. But it looked like you were keeping law and order at the beginning. I think everybody's been pretty well behaved on the most part. I think, as far as from what I could see. Anyway, thank you, George C, for that, for doing keeping law and order, as we say. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're anybody, I've had a few requests to go over that shenanigans at Farmfoods. That big fucking near fight that I had. And but anyway, if you're watching that now and you haven't seen it, go back to the beginning, and you're gonna hear about all that. And hit the thumbs up real quick if you haven't done that. You've got about 10 seconds. It's a shame we're gonna go, but I'm really tired. I'm aching, and I've been going a long time. I've got 19 people watching. Got 40 thumbs up. Anybody not hit the thumbs up, then do that now real quick. And let's see, better behave than the man from George C. Yeah, better behave than the man in Farmfoods. That silly old bastard he was. I tell you what. That's the thing. If he'd have met somebody, that could have ended totally different for that guy. If he'd have just met, some psycho. Anyway, Okay, thank you everybody for watching. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Stick around. I'm going to try. I'm going to do. I'm going to do some more allotment videos. I might do. I might do one of me eventually making a raised bed so I can show people exactly how that's put together. It's real simple, but I'll try and do some cookery one soon. I might do some food review. I went to Farmfoods. I got a load of stuff, so I might do some reviews on their meat pies and their steak burgers and stuff. I've got a load of those, so I'll do some reviews and stuff. All right, thank you everybody, and we'll call it a night. And good night.